Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and it is July 4th or the 4th of July 2025. Beautiful cavalcade day. It is sunny and Schiphol Airport is having a bit of wind from the south right now, 11 knots. And that means arrivals on the Polderbaan. Wind is expected to change a little bit, become a bit more westerly as the morning progresses. If all is well, the runway use will stay the same for the upcoming hours. I'm not expecting any significant changes. With the wind turning more westerly and also maybe picking up a few knots, it will become a bit more crosswindy, so maybe the airplanes are going to crab a little bit more as the morning progresses. What would Schiphol be without mounds of dirt? Absolutely nothing. First off, airplane of the show, KLM flight 602, having arrived from LAX. First day streaming with new voiceover audio. I've got a Sennheiser ME2 lavalier microphone attached to my cap instead of the Rode lavalier that I was using, and I'm now using a UHF wireless set from Sennheiser, the EWDP Evolution Wireless Digital Portable, if I recall correctly. Tested it in my house, could go up the attic with the receiver downstairs, 2 floors of concrete between the transmitter and receiver, and it didn't stutter a single time. I think I could probably walk up to the tubes over there and still you guys would be able to hear me quite well. In the meantime, a very good morning to all who have joined. Marja, goedenavond, and Wolfgang, good morning. Welcome everybody, hope everybody is doing well. Already, I see that Floris came in with a massive super chat. Floris70, thank you so much. Tijd voor patat, time for fries. Ooh, that does sound tempting, doesn't it? If all is well, the voiceover audio is calibrated and it should sound very similar to what it sounded like with the Rode lavalier microphone. Floris, thank you so much. I will definitely have fries with your super chat. Lisa will be thrilled. No, we've got no excuses. We need to do this. Thank you so much, Floris. All right, this is SAS, and it's an interesting morning. Indigo is a new carrier that has begun flying to Schiphol. I think yesterday they began, and today the second flight is underway. Let me show you on Flight Radar in a moment. It is expected pretty soon, later in the morning. So that's going to be a channel premiere for us. Indeed, Roy, it means that I can do extra long-haul airplane dances. That is absolutely right. Ambient could be a bit louder, Wolfgang says. Okay, duly noted. Half a stripe up, half a notch up, ambient. The wind is blowing from front to back, so from the back of the runway towards the north. Might be that it's a bit softer than when the wind is blowing towards us. Liwa also in the chat. Jackie, goedemorgen. Good morning, lads. Hope everybody is doing well. Dirk Antour, good morning. Dirk says, high quality only sounds a bit like a bathroom with echo. That's interesting. I have no idea where that would be coming from. This is United Airlines Flight 909 arriving from Chicago O'Hare, 787-10 Dreamliner, 7 hours 5 minutes on the way, November 91007. Indeed, Nicholas, I also saw that Iceland Air will be arriving with a 757, a 200 if I recall correctly. Alright, next up, Eastern Airways, T3052. T3052. Sounds like I'm talking in a bathroom. Well, that can be it. Got the microphone attached just like I have the old one. It's over here. It has a furry on it, so it should be sounding pretty similar to what it did with the Rode microphone. Don't think that there's anything I can do immediately that will fix it, because it is just mounted on the location where my voice sounds brightest. If I attach the lavalier microphone to my chest, it'll sound more bassy. Even a bit more up with the ambient. Okay. Just a little bit more then. Let's see, this is Eastern Airways. It doesn't seem to be flying on behalf of KLM. I'm not sure about that. T352 is what it says here on Flight Radar. Pretty sure this is a flight on behalf of KLM. Arriving from Humberside, 44 minutes underway. Lena says 2 microphones. No, there is no other microphone active if all is well. Just have the ambient microphone over here. The blimp, barely visible, but that's for the ambient. The rest is just the lavalier microphone, which it always has been. Nothing has changed in the setup except that I changed the microphone and the transmitter. The wireless is going via a different type of transmitter, but it is still very much the same. Right, well, people are reporting an echo. In that case, let me put in the headphones and listen in. I wasn't hearing anything when testing. Let's check that then again. Check, check. Check, check. Oh yeah, there is something of huh? How can that be? Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Right. Check, check. That makes it worse. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. I think I know what happened. Let me first turn off the earplugs. This should be better, right? Save the settings. Right. what it was, and I didn't hear that because I did not test yet with both microphones working, is that the audio from the HDMI was 1 frame faster than the old one, so I had to switch the delay of the Sennheiser 1 frame. Instead of a delay of 3 frames, it now has to be set to 4. I've saved it. If all is well, these settings are now saved for the next time when I'm loading the settings from my ATEM switcher. If all is well, the echo should be gone. Right, back to the camera controls. Apologies for that. That's something I didn't test yet. I was just checking the volumes compared with the old microphone. In the meantime, I see a quad-engined Contrail over there. Air Icarus on its way. Right, yeah. So I wasn't aware of that. That I didn't hear that during the testing. But when listening in just now, I was hearing it. So everything should be okay now. All right, where were we? BA flight 436 is now arriving. A320 arriving from London Heathrow. London, yes, London.
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
In the meantime, a very good morning to all who have joined. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy, and we are here at Schiphol Airport at the Polderbaan, where El Al just now landed. In the meantime, a massive big thank you to Maria, who is celebrating 21 months of membership. Thank you so much for all the support, not only as a member for 21 months, but also as a very valuable moderator. Sound is now perfect. I'll stay a few more months. Thank you so much, Maria. I am so happy to hear that you're going to stay on for a few more months. Hope everything is still to your liking, both in the lounge and as a mod. If anything is no longer to your liking, hit me up. Let me see what I can do to fix it. Maria, thank you so much for 21 months of support, upwards and onwards. Almost joining the double team blue. You are already blue on one aspect. Pretty soon, also with the duration of the membership. Thank you so much, Maria. KLM flight 1402 arriving from Paris, 737-800, the PHBXC. And a very good morning to everybody who has joined. Oh, what's this? John Deere? Oh dear, no John Deere. That is John Deere. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And goedemorgen Roy. Roy is celebrating 26 months of membership. 26 months went fast. I'm happy to stay for a while. Well, I'm happy to see you again. And I'm happy to hear that you're going to stay around for a while. But don't worry if it's not as a member. I'll be happy if you are going to stick around as a regular frequent visitor as well, Roy. Of course, it is nicer if you are going to stick around in the lounge. But that's okay if you wouldn't. That's perfectly fine. Thank you so much for all the support thus far. And I hope we're going to enjoy your company for many more months to come. I'm looking around because the tractor seems to be adding more. Seems like they're going to add more bastards. What are they doing? Interesting. Anyway, here we have something Chinese arriving from China. And for some reason it's not showing on my flight radar. How is that possible? How is that possible? Interesting. Chinese A330. I thought I saw earlier that it was arriving from Chengdu or something. Alright, well. Thank you so much, Schiphol Group. Ambient audio not too loud. And it is from Chengdu. Yeah, I did see it before on Flight Radar. That's why I remember. So looking at the wind situation, this is what it looks like. SAS A320neo is coming in. In the meantime, Peter Olding is celebrating 20 months of membership and he has turned green. I'm sticking around too, mate. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you are going to stick around for many more months to come. Thank you so much for the support already. You've turned green and you're going to stay green for a year. And also that goes for Tina Buitenholm, who is also celebrating having turned green. Green, not my color, but nice for Greenpeace. Indeed it is. They'll be very thrilled to see many more members turning green here at AMS Live. Let's see if we can compensate for the CO2 emissions of the airplanes by having members turn green. In the meantime, this is the current status quo in the METAR. Wind blowing mostly from the south. It's expected to turn more to the west as the morning progresses. We have 11 knots of wind, 20 degrees C, Cavoque, lovely weather with the breeze. It's actually lovely and cool and very tolerable out here. First 747 is already in Dutch airspace and is going to land shortly. It is approaching Amsterdam and is now in the vicinity of Lelystad, so that's going to land here in a couple of minutes. Indigo is also underway. Indigo is arriving from Mumbai and is expected around 11:40. So hopefully it'll catch a few more minutes of delay so that we can see it on Polderbaan and not go to center. Saudia is arriving around 12:37 and Emirates A380 is expected around 1:03. An Atlas Air just now took off from Miami, but that's expected for later in the afternoon. So after the 747 from Cathay, the next airplane of interest is going to be Indigo, ETA around 11:40. In the meantime, a very good morning to everybody who has joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are here at the excrement is it? The pile of manure has become a bit taller than it already was. Had I known. Anyway, welcome to everybody who has joined in the meantime. Lovely weather here, a nice cool breeze. Dennis W, goedemorgen. Nelson, good morning. QJ, goedemorgen. Manzi, good morning. J. Remy, good morning. Marijke, goedemorgen. Boreas, Keimanaan, good morning. Rob, good morning. Ronald, goedemorgen. Ronald 2 is celebrating. He is celebrating 23 months of membership. Pretty soon he will turn blue. Looking out for blue and still not done enjoying. Mate, thank you so much for all the support thus far. Hope you're going to stick around for many more months to come. Airplanes flying overhead, I can see two actually. One is a bit lower than the other is a bit higher and is not producing a contrail. There it is. Delta Airlines is coming next. Delta Airlines Flight 56 arriving from Salt Lake City. That is an A330neo, November 418 Delta X-ray is the registration. 9 hours and 8 minutes underway. Wolfgang asks if September would be a good time to visit Amsterdam in general. I think so. I would definitely visit outside of school vacations because it is teeming with people otherwise. September, yeah, is still a good time of year. On average, still pretty warm. Not too rainy on average. So that's definitely a good month to be visiting if I had to pick one. Absolutely. Are you planning a trip to Amsterdam, Wolfgang? That would be nice. Very good morning to all who have joined. John Beston is tuning in from London. He says, boy, congrats on your great coverage during the NATO summit. Great job. Thank you so much, mate. Did the best I could. Pity about the connection failing during the departure of Air Force One, but I luckily was able to capture the arrival pretty well. Standing alone in the field, good Wi-Fi reception, or at least good cell phone reception. Jetstream Journeys asks if I'm going to do a recovery stream on Monday. No, I'm not going to do that. No. Paul is also back in the chat. He just gifted a membership. Mate, thank you so much. Good morning. And thank you for your generosity. I see that Monique Bonte was the recipient of the gifted membership. Welcome to the Aurora Skylounge, Monique. Don't forget to enjoy the custom emojis that you now have at your disposal for a month. Don't forget to say thank you to Paul. And welcome to the Aurora Skylounge. Paul, thank you for your generosity and welcome to the Skylounge, Monique. We have a Dreamliner from KLM 7879 in fact. KLM flight 668 arriving from Austin, Texas. The Papa Hotel, Bravo Hotel Oscar. 8 hours and 30 minutes it has flown to get here. Yeah, I wasn't live yesterday because I had to work my day job, and that's also going to happen next week Thursday because I wasn't working in my day job during the NATO summit. So that's why I didn't stream yesterday, and that's also why I'm not going to stream next week Thursday because I'll be inside working. In the meantime, good morning to all who have joined. Nienke, goedemorgen. Ashley, goedemorgen. John Dutch Canadian, good morning. Dino in the Tube, good morning. Welcome to all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are here at Schiphol Airport at the Polderbaan. Runway 18 right, primary runway for arrivals. Wind blowing from the south-southwest. Double digits. The wind is expected to turn a bit further to the west and maybe pick up a few knots. So maybe later in the stream the arrivals are going to be a bit more crabby than they are currently. JetBlue is arriving from Boston. No, not from Boston, but from New York, JFK. Hey Jeff, good morning mate, good to see ya. The airplane as number 2 is smoking quite a bit. That is United, that's a 777-200. That's probably a bit older. Let me have a look at the age. It does say it's from 1997. I suspect that the engines of the airplane are also not the newest. Pedro, bom dia. Michael, good morning. All those people tuning in from London. London? Yes, London.
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
Welcome one and all. Roy, thank you so much for your generosity. Roy super chatted and says, I don't know if you already knew, but the Transavia A321neo retro livery is expected to arrive on Friday, July 25th. I thought I read about that yesterday or something, and if all is well, I made a note in my agenda, in my calendar, in my phone. That's on a Friday or Saturday, wasn't it? I thought it was a Friday. I did read about it and I immediately put it in my agenda because I'm very much looking to see that one. I hope I'll be able to catch its arrival live. They don't know the time of arrival yet, do they? I thought they said the flight number was going to be HV 1965 because of the year that Transavia was founded. Roy, thank you so much for your generosity. You really didn't have to do a super chat for that, mate. Thank you so much, and duly noted. Very much looking forward to seeing that one. Wish that they could all be in retro livery. That looks so much better than the current day livery. United Flight 968 having arrived from San Francisco. That's a 777-200ER, November 792, Uniform Alpha. Hey Jado, happy 4th of July. Michael asks, what's the big anthill next to the runway? Your guess is as good as mine, mate. I have no idea. There was a small pile and now a John Deere tractor just now put some more down there. I'm not sure what they're going to do there. Maybe make a new peninsula. They had one there before and they took it away again, or at least the better part of it. They also had a little peninsula over there at first, now no more. I'm not sure if maybe they are going to put it over there again. That could be. In the meantime, a compact 3 airplane glide slope shot over there. Ballet in the sky. In the meantime, also a massive big thank you to E. Peterson. That is very generous, sir. Thank you so much for your generous donation. Peterson, Mr. Peterson writes, can you please move that pile of dirt so we may see the landing gear touchdown? Would that I could, sir. Would that I could. I don't know why they are doing that. They keep annoying us with piles of dirt. Yeah, I hope they'll flatten it pretty soon. If not, we'll maybe have to swim to the other side and do something about it. Thank you so much for your generosity, Mr. Peterson. I'll see what I can do. I'm not promising anything, though. Goedemorgen, ground crew. Hi. In the meantime, airplane number 3 is the first 747, and Evelyn and her granddad have arrived on the scene over here. This is a KLM Cityhopper, flight 1352, arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. Nice little butt shot. Wolfgang asks, is the XP ranking a thing you have to set at YouTube, or is YouTube setting that on their one? I have no idea what that is, mate. I saw that and I didn't do anything. I think it is something that comes with YouTube these days. I have no idea. If anybody knows more, I'm happy to learn about it. This is KLM 5592, arriving from Johannesburg, South. It's a 777-200ER, 10 hours and 35 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel, Bravo Quebec Mike. Now the airplane right next to this is going to be a 747, so this airplane is not going to get much attention. Although it is setting up for a nice wheelie landing. Okay, nice. Let's turn around. First queen of the show, there she is. Cathay Pacific Cargo Flight 65, arriving from Dubai World Center. It's a 7478, 7 hours and 26 minutes on the go, underway. It's the Bravo Lima Juliet Lima. This airplane is 11 years old. First flight November 2013. Han, goedemorgen. And also a very big thank you to Roy van Kan, who just now gifted 5 memberships. You didn't have to do that, mate. Thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, new members. If you are one of the recipients of Roy's gifted memberships, don't forget to say thank you to him. Please enjoy the custom emojis that you now have at your disposal. 34 of them. Have fun with them. Spamming is not allowed, but you are allowed to use custom emojis as much as you want. See that you get creative with them. Make us laugh with them. Stranger also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Come on. absolutely lovely. Spooling down. Flipping awesome. Right, next airplane of interest shall be Indigo Flight 21, which is expected around 11:40, or at least that was the case last time we checked. We have a Saudi 747 that is also underway. Christian, goedemorgen.
Hi.
Hey, goedemorgen.
Ik heb tegenwoordig een zuster erbij.
Alrighty.
Meer dan een jaar geleden.
Her Majesty the Queen. The next airplane turning or about to land is an EasyJet A319 arriving from London Gatwick. And after this, time for a Canadian Dreamliner arriving from Toronto. Wolfgang says greetings to the ground crew. Ground crew is busy applying sunscreen. Captain Eddie Bos is also back in the chat, good to see ya. And we have crossed through 200 likes, thank you all so much for that. If you are enjoying what you're seeing and you haven't done so already, consider leaving a like. Liking and subscribing is a free and easy way to help this channel reach a wider audience of like-minded people. People like you guys who are interested in aviation live streams, but who just haven't heard of AMS Live yet. Air Canada is next to arrive. One of my rubber bands that was holding my camera, what is it? Power supply, or at least part of it, upright, snapped just now, so time to fixate that with a new rubber band, like so. Should be good. Canada in the bank rubber look, so hide your money. This is coming for it. What a place to put some dirt. Of all the places. Redback engineering at its finest indeed, Jeff. MacGyver got nothing on me. Howdy Edwin, goedemorgen. Leo, good morning. Bob, good evening. Mieke, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. Tom, goedemorgen. Johan, goedemorgen. Thunderstrike, goedemorgen, good morning. More Air Canada? What? Two Air Canada back to back? Indeed, that is the case. This is not in a bank rubber livery, but a regular quote-unquote Air Canada livery. Flight 900 arriving from Montreal, 7878 Dreamliner, 5 hours 45 minutes on the way. And the airplane is 10 years old. First flight was in August 2014. Dat is goed. Wat? Wat? Kom op! Dat is toch niet nodig? Kom op.
Extra cafeïne bij
Extra cafeïne. Oeh. Iced coffee from the ground crew. Thank you so much, both of you.
Alles gaat goed hoor.
Dat is fijn om te horen.
Kijk, hoe is dit? Oh, de ding ervan.
Ja, mij gaat het ook redelijk hoor.
Ja?
Ja, ik mag alleen geen auto meer rijden.
Je mag geen auto meer rijden, nee. Zoiets hoorde ik.
De taxi.
Evelyn having been promoted to taxi driver. Hey there, Redison guy. Paul, goedemorgen. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the show, everybody. Now, Tom, what are you doing, mate? Tom Enderman, just now gifting 10 memberships, mate. That is above and beyond. You really didn't have to do that, mate. Thank you so much for your generosity, Tom. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. New members, don't forget to say thank you if you are one of the recipients of Tom Enderman's gifted memberships just now. Have fun with the custom emojis that you now have at your disposal for a month. Spamming is not allowed, but you are allowed to use custom emojis as much as you want. So feel free to enjoy us with them. Get creative with them. Tom, dankjewel. Thank you so much for your generosity, mate. You really didn't have to do that. Much appreciated. Welcome to the Sky Lounge new members. Next up is Lufty.
Je ziet hem heel slecht, maar er zit daar een Air Canada, volgens mij wat een C31. Onder die grote contrail. Dat zie je heel slecht, maar dat is een zwart stip.
Ik zie hem niet. Something military flying overhead, but not producing a contrail. Evelyn is seeing it, but I find it hard to see. Cargolux 74 on radar outbound to Luxembourg, so runway 24. Is that so? No, I don't think so. Probably runway 18 left, right? Flying to the south directly. I'd be inclined to say that it's going to take off from 18 left, but CDM will tell you with a relative high degree of certainty. Captain Eddie Bos, good evening. Scott, good evening. Robert, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Next up is going to be a MAX 8 737 from WestJet, arriving from Halifax in Canada. We can see another wide body behind it. That's Delta Airlines Flight 48, arriving from New York JFK. That's an A330neo. Let's see, Wolfgang says. Indeed, let's do that. WestJet only recently began flying from Halifax to Amsterdam. A flight that, at least today, has lasted for 5 hours and 14 minutes. Not the longest that we have seen narrow-body flights from. Not that much further than to the Middle East. WestJet is the best jet, or so they say. L'esprit du Canada. The spirit of Canada. Yeah, a lot of Canadians coming in, indeed, Scott. Wonder if there's a particular reason for it. Maybe they are bringing maple syrup. Maple syrup. W says 747 Cargolux, indeed, runway 18 left. Once it is lined up, could you guys give me a heads up? Let's see if we can catch a glimpse of it. Should be able to film it, but not very, very detailed, of course. Delta Airlines Flight 48 is next, arriving from New York, JFK. It's the November 428 Delta X-Ray. 6 hours and 13 minutes on the way now. And the airplane, a year old, first flight June 2024. I hear an ambulance or something on the road. Police engine, police motorcycle. Alright. Good morning to everybody who is joined in the meantime. Modest use of the reversers. Not completely idle, but also not full blast. Good morning Wilfred, good morning Yusuf. At 13:04, good morning Mars, good morning. Thomas, good morning, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, guys. Well, as you can see, the sky is not completely blue. It is still KVK because the lower 5,000 feet around Schiphol is free of clouds. To the west, you can see the same. Also, an airplane that is approaching. I now happen to see on the downwind leg. Which one is that? That looks like Air Europa Dreamliner. Let's zoom out a little bit on flight radar. Oh yeah, that is an Air Europa Dreamliner. Looking to the north, things look like so. Looking to the east, things look like so. Contrail remnants. Contrails are also visible. This is what things look like to the south. Ground crew is over here as well. Enjoying the scenery. And wind on the scale of chimney smoke currently is looking like so. You can see it looks like the wind is blowing from the south, although it does also look a bit like it's turning a bit more to the west. That is also what was expected. As the morning progresses, more westerly winds means that the crosswind component in the wind is going to increase, and the wind speed itself was also expected to increase a few more knots. And this is Air France with a Bombardier C-Series. And pretty soon we are going to see Croatia Airlines as well with a Bombardier C-Series, an A220. Hey there, John, good morning. Doing well, thank you for asking. The weather is lovely, it's not too warm, the breeze is refreshing. Actually perfect summer weather if you ask me. Wouldn't be disappointed if this was going to be the weather all year round. So one Bombardier C-Series is giving us a butt shot, another one is coming in. Paul is tuning in from Noordwijk, goedemorgen. W says that the orange flight is estimated to depart from runway 24 around 10:41. Yeah, it does look like this airplane is already crabbing just a little bit. You can definitely see that the nose of the airplane is to the left of the tail. So the crosswind component is definitely increasing slowly but surely. Croatia Airlines Flight 450 arriving from Zagreb in Croatia. 1 hour 46 minutes, this airplane is underway. The 9 Alpha, Charlie Alpha Lima, 9A Cal. New airplane, first flight April 2025. Should still smell like new when you are inside. Indeed, Han, they've put the fans on, so it's not too warm today. The fans are providing some much needed refreshment. Butt shot coming in. Allowing us to see through those see-through engines. Such a small core these new engines have. Hey Michael May, greetings. Tuning in from Rotterdam City. 010. Nice butt shot. Sam, goedemorgen, good morning. And good morning to all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching Aviation Live, my name is Boy. And I am here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Primary runway for arrivals, wind blowing from the south. And a pile of dirt that just got put there. It wasn't as high in the beginning, but as I was already streaming here, another John Deere tractor came and added to the already present pile, making it a bit higher. Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478 already landed here. Saudia 747 is also expected. And in 50 or so minutes from now, Indigo is expected. Let's have a quick look and see what their estimated times of arrival currently are. So, looking at what is going on here, we have the Cathay, we have another... the Orange Pride has come alive already. That's going to take off, of course, from runway 24 pretty soon. Indigo is flying in Austria right now. It's ETA now 11:42. That's good news because around 11:42, on paper at least, the only runway open for arrivals should be the Polderbaan. So with a little bit of luck, the Indigo Dreamliner is going to land right here and we can see it up close. That also goes for the Saudi Cargo 747, which is expected before 1 o'clock, and that means landing on the Polderbaan almost certainly. Hey, and now the ETA of the Emirates A380 is 12:59. So if it's going to continue making up, or at least losing a few more minutes, it is a good news for us.
Maar wat is er met die Indigo Dreamliner? Is dat gewoon de eerste keer dat Indigo er komt?
Nee, gisteren was de eerste keer, vandaag is de tweede keer. Het is een channel premiere. Het is de eerste keer dat wij hem gaan zien in de stream.
Shit, dat heb ik hem gisteren gemist.
The meter in the meantime, let's do an update of that as well and see what is happening. Yeah, the wind is turning ever so slowly, a bit more to the west. The wind speed 12 knots, 21 degrees, still Cavoque. So in other words, beautiful summery weather, but the wind is turning a bit more and becoming a bit more crosswindy. In the meantime, the 747 is lining up on 18 left, I'm seeing in the chat.
Indigo is een kleur.
Let's quickly turn around the camera then, have a look. Yeah, so where will it depart? Where will it become visible, of course, is what is the question. I'm thinking somewhere over there, but yeah, where exactly? Once it clears the trees and the buildings, it should become pretty easily visible. Oh yeah, there it is. Cargo Lux on its way to Luxembourg, just now having taken off from 18 left. Hadi Dion, goedemorgen. Ethan, goedemorgen. Teun, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. We're here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right, primary runway for outbound traffic. This was a Cargo Lux 747 taking off from 18 left, going to Luxembourg. Here we have a BA that arrived from London.
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
And next to land over here is going to be Air Europa arriving from Madrid, flight 1091. We saw it on the downwind leg. And here it is on final. Air Europa flight 1091 arriving from Madrid, 1 hour 55 minutes underway. 9-year-old airplane, first flight February 2016. After that we are going to see KM Malta. Europa, knowing how to use the reversers. Absolutely beautiful. I see a Chinese triple on my flight radar in the vicinity of Almere. Should be coming this way. Bom dia Daniel, who is tuning in from Brazil, where it is 5:20 in the morning. A good early morning to you then. Prime Numerology, good morning. Ray, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. So, right now, Polderbaan is the only runway in use for arrivals until approximately 11 o'clock. from 11 until 11:40, as is almost always the case. Parallel arrivals will commence. Over here, Steven Seagal practicing aerobatics. Oh, Cormorant, outbound. Another wide body in the bird world. Next airplane, KM Malta, arriving from Malta. You'd never guess it, but it's actually true. 2 hours and 46 minutes on the way. Registration 9 Hotel, November Echo Hotel. 9H, nah. Brand new airplane, first flight July 2024. Nah. Explore more cheddar? What does it say? What did it say? Explore more of something. Nah. Bom dia, Luis, who is also tuning in from Brazil. A very good morning to all of you. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are here at the Polderbaan. Runway 18 right. Primary runway for inbound traffic today. Wind is picking up. Definitely can feel that the wind is picking up. It's also expected to turn a bit further to the west as the morning progresses, so the crosswind component for the airplane's landing is expected to increase gradually in the upcoming hours. Already we can see that the airplanes are crabbing a little bit more than they did in the very beginning of the show. E2 Embraer 195, KLM flight 1268, arriving from Copenhagen in Denmark. Ik vind het af en toe wel annoying hoor. Ja. Het is ook wel luid. Ja, nou niet als je vlakbij een landingsbaan woont. Dan hoor je het wel hoor.
Ja, oké. Ja, ik hoor het ook wel elke dag eigenlijk als het landen.
EasyJet A320neo is next, arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic, the OELSR, flight 27928. 1 hour 13 minutes on the way. 2-year-old airplane, first flight June 2023. ITA Airways will be next after that. That's a Bombardier C-Series 300, flight 120, arriving from Milan. Erik, goedemorgen, good morning. And welcome to the show, everybody else who has joined in the meantime. If you joined us only just now, you may have missed the landing of Cathay Pacific Cargo, a 747-8 that arrived from Dubai. You are still in time though to see the next 747 arriving from Saudia. No, Saudia arriving from Jeddah, I think it was. It's not arriving from Saudia, of course. Yeah, Saudi Arabia. Alright, ITA Airways arriving from Milan up next. Flight 120. Let me also not forget the, what is this? Caramel macchiato flavor. a lovely shot of caffeine courtesy of the ground crew. Chilled coffee. Better drink it while it is still chilled.
Oh, de eigen boot. Ja, de eigen boot. hij het weer?
Let me first film the landing of this beautiful ITA. ITA Airways flight 120 arriving from Milan. A220 300. A220. A220. 300 no less. 1 hour 27 minutes on the way. EI Hotel Hotel Tango. Irish registered, but what a beautiful machine. Wind is beginning to pick up. I think I'm going to resort to enabling image stabilizer. Good morning to all who have joined. Nice butt shot in the making. Here we go. A nice combo shot, a butt shot of ITA. Let's see, little straw. How to open this? That's lovely. Put the lid back on. It has a little hole for the straw. Should keep it high enough. Here, KLM A321neo. Another airplane arriving from London. Orange Pride ready for takeoff on runway 24. W says, thank you for the heads up. In that case, let us keep the camera pointed in that direction and have a look. Should become visible pretty soon then. It is rolling now. Martin is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Welcome to the show, all others. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm here with ground crew. Evelyn and her granddad have also come over and have settled here in the grass next to me. We're filming arrivals here. But now we are pointing the camera to runway 24 where the Orange Pride is rolling and should become visible any moment now. If all is well. Always interesting. Ah, I think I have it. Yeah, there it is. There she is, the PHBVA going to Lima in Peru. Hey there Anthony, goedemorgen, good morning. Good morning to all others who've joined. KLM 737, flight 1918, and landing here. It has the Karen cabin. Private suite for Karens. Next up is going to be a Chinese widebody, a 777 freighter. China Cargo Airlines arriving from Shanghai in China, and that's a 777 freighter, 10 hours and 52 minutes on the way. The Bravo 222 Hotel. They're playing 3 years old, first flight June 2022. And something red right after that, something for the members. You know what time it is then.
Dan wou je naar horen toe? Ja, dat kan. Met je moeder en met Johan.
Nice sip of iced coffee.
Ach, je eet het zelf. Ja, het maakt mij niet uit. Alleen je moet er wel rekening houden dat je...
Before I forget, let's also enable image stabilizer. I was mentioning that just now, but then I forgot to do it. Footage should have cropped just a little bit. That's what the image stabilizer needs to make the footage a bit more smoothly. Wind is definitely picking up. And Peter warns for ticks when you're standing in the high grass. The grass next to me is high. Where I am standing, I have trampled it down and it is pretty flat. But thank you for the warning, Peter. I'm not standing in tall grass. Over here, the grass is actually as if it were cut. That's because I usually stand at the same location, and because I need to walk around my tripod, things get trampled. That usually results in the grass dying. Audio not too loud with the reversers being applied there, the ambient.
Nee, wat vind jij nou lekker?
And Hans says, yesterday Schiphol aired a YouTube video about the busy NATO top. I think I saw you briefly in the Spotters bus trip. I saw it, yeah, that's me, that was me. Indeed, people already mentioned it in the comments, so I already responded in the comments as well. That was me, alright. Trying to film manually because I couldn't use my tripod. Very shaky image. Absolutely not the standard I wanted to publish, but there you go. Warp stabilizer, dynamic image stabilizer. Stabilized the hell out of it, but yeah, that was me, alright. Absolutely. Indeed, Roy, I have read about it. Come October, I think, Play is no longer going to fly to Amsterdam. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to focus on just charters, I thought I read the other day.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Daar gaat mijn moeder, snap je. Daarvoor ook een speciale model.
We'll always have the memories. Playtime it is. Oh no! That John Deere is back. That John Deere is back, and I am afraid for what it's going to do. Continue driving further to the north, mate. Don't stop at that mount. Continue further. No! No, goddammit! A-hole. No! Oh, it's going next to it, so it's not going to get higher, it's just going to get wider. I think that's relatively okay. I think that's relatively okay. Yeah. It's not a good thing. God damn it. Always something here, isn't it? In the meantime, Delta Airlines Flight 162 is arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. 7 hours and 28 minutes on the way. The November 825 November Whiskey. Yeah, that sand is not going to be in our way. That's the silver lining. In the meantime, a very good morning to AJ, mate. What are you doing? That is stupendously generous. 20 gifted memberships just now by AJ. You really did not have to do that, mate. What a generosity. Thank you so much, AJ. Hope you are doing well. I am doing well for one. Lovely day here, lovely weather, not too warm, the sun is shining, but the wind is keeping things nice and cool. I hope that everybody who just received a membership from you, all 20, will say thank you to you, AJ. What a generosity. Thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Have fun with the custom emojis. They're there to be had fun with. 34 of them. Use them as inappropriately as you can think of. Don't forget to say thank you to AJ if you are one of the recipients of his 20 gifted memberships. Incredible. Peter wonders if they're building a new platform for me. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Not sure if they would build it on our side though. They would probably do that on this side. Scott has to go. Thank you for stopping by, Scott. Hope all is well. Alright, next up is going to be... Hey, wait a minute, let's see. Is something happening? Is something happening? No. I was testing because I went back to the drawing board with the widgets, and only one widget have I asked GPT to code for me new memberships. Now of course AJ renewed his membership. So technically speaking it's not a new member but a membership renewal. At least nothing happened with the automated widget, which if it acts purely on new memberships is a good thing. Does mean that I have to go over to the computer and do this manually, which I will happily do. AJ renewing his membership. Mate, thank you so much for renewing your membership. Welcome back. We kept your seat warm insofar as that was necessary with all the sunshine. Please enjoy the custom emojis, mate. Be creative with them. Get creative with them. That goes for everybody. Have fun with them. That's the most important thing. Have fun. Good to have you back, AJ. Thanks for renewing your membership. Welcome back. Let's quickly turn around. More airplanes are coming in. Next airplane is JetBlue. This one is arriving from Boston. The other one I initially thought was coming in from Boston, but that was New York JFK. This one is arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. 5 hours 52 minutes on the way. Seems a tad quick. They must have had pretty big chunk of tailwind. 5 hours 52 minutes on the way. The November 4077 Juliet. Liberator also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Mrs. J, good morning. Cold and wintry in Johannesburg. Over here it is nice and summery. 21 degrees C, I think the meter said. And with the wind, lovely summer weather. Absolutely ideal weather to go out and do stuff. Next up will be Tarom. Tarom arriving from Bucharest. It's 5 minutes to 11, so I'm also expecting pretty soon the center runway is going to open up for parallel arrivals. First up, Tarom arriving from Bucharest. Flight 361. The 9 Hotel Marie Oscar. That's an A320. 2 hours and 44 minutes on the way. The airplane is 16 years old. First flight was in July 2008. Wind is picking up. I can definitely tell by how much more jittery following airplanes has become. All white. Malta Med Air is flying on behalf of Tarom. And we have a gender reveal. It turns out that AJ is a she, Ali. Ali, thank you so much once again for your stupendously generous donation there just now, and I hope that everybody will enjoy your memberships gifted and will thank you for it.
Special livery.
And thank you so much, Roy, for your kind words. I think we have an awesome team of moderators right now. They are doing a tremendously good job at keeping the chat friendly and accessible to all. Absolutely right. This is KLM flight 749 arriving from Cartagena in Colombia. It's a 787-10 Dreamliner. 9 hours 19 minutes on the way. Colombia not too far away from, geographically speaking. And this is the Papa Hotel, Bravo Kilo Mike. Low-key wheelie. Bob is an old bloke. Duly noted, Bob. Duly noted. Guten Morgen, Supasta, who is tuning in from Zurich. Ryan Trixamore is also back in the chat. Good morning. Danny Romeinders as well. Goedemorgen. BBQ Donkey as well. Good morning. Let's see. We have a wide body, a narrow body. Anything else? Not yet. Something wide body-ish turning in further to the north. Oh wait, there it is. Yeah, American Airlines. There it is. Makes for a somewhat linear 3-airplane glide slope shot. Next airplane coming in is KLM flight 598, and that's arriving from Cape Town, South. It's the Papa Hotel, Bravo, Quebec, Oscar. Wind is certainly picking up now. Let's see, the meter last time we checked was 1025. So is there a new one out already? Probably there isn't. No, still not. Should be out in a few minutes. Wind is expected to pick up and also become more westerly in the process. So you can already see that the wide bodies now also are slowly but surely beginning to crab a little bit. 10 hours and 54 minutes on the way. Looking overhead, twin jet just passed by. This is an airplane that is 18 years old already, first flight January 2007. And as you can see in the background, parallel arrivals have begun. Nicely on time, it is 10:59 on my phone, so first airplane to arrive is a KLM M. So parallel arrivals now have begun and are going to stay in progress for approximately 40 minutes. We have two airplanes over there. In the foreground on the right, in the center, we have a Transavia 737-800 arriving from Ibiza, the Papa Hotel, Hotel Bravo Lima. The airplane that you see behind it is American Airlines flight 204, and that's a Dreamliner arriving from Philadelphia. Traffic passing by overhead. Looking around me, am I seeing any quad engines? Quad-engined airplanes in the sky forming a contrail? The answer is no. Looking around in the water, I'm also not seeing any aquatic birds. They are still sleeping in, or maybe they are on vacation. Roy is asking about the reopening of runway 2709. That should be somewhere around the end of September. If you look at bezoekbas.nl, there should still be a message of the announcement of the maintenance of that runway. I thought in that article it also mentioned until when the runway is going to stay closed. Thought it mentioned still the majority of September the runway is going to stay closed for maintenance. Hadi Gerrit, goedemorgen. Next up, American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia. 6 hours and 13 minutes on the way, the November 810 Alpha November. The airplane is 9 years old, first flight September 2015. Waxer Chiswick also back in the chat. Guten Morgen. Welcome back, mate. Hope all is well. RTV Lage Landen, goedemorgen. Good morning. American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia is coming in next. Nice coffee, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I already emptied mine.
Yeah, I'm constantly busy. It is still cold though, that's good. If you guys are enjoying what you have been seeing thus far and you haven't done so already, consider leaving a like if you want to really help this channel reach a wider audience. Likes and subscriptions really help to promote the channel's content to new viewers who haven't heard of the channel yet but who would be interested in joining our awesome community. American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia. The November 810 Alpha November. Landing pretty flat with the nose wheel not that far above the ground. I always find it interesting to see the differences between different airplane types and the angle of attack when they are touching down. Dreamliners and 737s, for instance, relatively flat. If you take, for instance, A330s, they usually have their nose wheel pretty high up above the ground. Find that interesting to see. Iberia Express is going to be next to land here. Wolfgang says that the A340-600 is on taxi to runway 24 and is going to keep us posted. Thank you so much for that, Wolfgang. Brandon, goedemorgen. Behind the Iberia Express is Air Arabia Morocco. Yeah, Air Arabia Morocco arriving from Tangier. Narrow bodies to both runways at the moment. Iberia, well, I say Iberia Express, but it is Iberia, at least here on flight radar. Also, the airplane itself doesn't say Iberia Express, so let me correct that. Iberia Flight 731 is coming in from Madrid. 2 hours and 4 minutes on the way. And this is the ECILS. India Lima Sierra, the registration. Echo Charlie, of course, being Spanish. The airplane is 22 years old. Its first flight was in July 2002. Ooh, reverse was nice. Indeed, Mrs. J. John Deere is not playing nice today with dumping the sand there. Absolutely. Hopefully they'll flatten it pretty soon. We could still look over the mound of sand easily to the landings before John Deere came over and dumped 2 more loads of sand. It was a small pile initially. slowly grew into something bigger.
Dus jij mag zeggen wat je
Had I known they were going to do that, obviously I would have repositioned somewhere else for today. Air Arabia Morocco is arriving from Tangier. That's of course in Morocco in the north of. Flight 127, 2 hours 44 minutes on the way. Also a twin jet passing overhead. Nice contrail. Nice and contrasty. That is a Lufty.
Dus
Undoubtedly on its way to the United States or to Canada or something. And another one is coming. You can visibly see here the highway in the sky that leads from Frankfurt to the United States. A lot of Lufties passing over that highway. Air Arabia Buttshot coming in. If you think to yourself, hey, that's a lovely livery, I would like to see more of that livery, you're in luck. I'm going to turn around the camera and we'll be able to see another one. Howdy Marty, and welcome to the show all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. We are here at the Polderbaan runway 18 ride. I've got ground crew that came along. Evelyn and her granddad have been sitting up next to me in the grass here. If you hear some chattering, that's them. This is Air Arabia Morocco arrival from Nador, flight 121. Also Nador in Morocco in the north of. 2 hours and 45 minutes on the way. The Charlie November Mike Oscar is the registration. That's a 9-year-old A320. Bird control over there in the grass. Also circling a little bit. Caron is tuning in from Suriname. Good early morning, mate. Highly annoying. In the meantime, the first aquatic bird has been sighted. It is Chris Coot doing morning cardio, as always. An inspiration to us all. Stay active and eat fibers. In the meantime, a massive big thank you to Fasro Darshine, who is celebrating 8 months of membership. 50 characters just isn't enough to tell you what I... ... Mate, thank you so much for your support and for your kind words. 50 characters is a bit short, isn't it? Thank you so much for the ongoing support, my friend. Hope everything in the lounge is still to your liking. And hit me up if something is no longer to your liking. Let me see what I can do to fix it then. Another Lufty twin jet passing overhead. And where is the A340? Let's see. I see it is now approaching runway 24 and it's about to turn onto it. And Nippon 74 to Milan is on taxi. In the meantime, the Embraer 190 is landing over here, arriving from Chester, KLM flight 1030. Pilots very much still busy at with the business at hand.
Ja, dan moet je gewoon werken. Ja, nee, dan krijg je scherp op.
83 boxes of thin mints in Aurora Sky Lounge, not feeling thin at all, Fasho Darshine says. They were low calorie mints one day. Or did we buy the wrong ones? Parallel arrivals are in progress right now for another half hour or so. It's mostly narrow bodies that we can see come in to both open runways right now. So we're not missing out on a lot because of traffic being partially directed to the center runway. 74 on runway 24 rolling. 747 to Milan. Let's have a look, see if we can spot it then. And there you go. Nippon Cargo on its way to Milan, just having taken off from runway 24. Judging by the sound, an E2 and Brem 195 just passed me by, and looking to my left, I see that that is correct. The 747 on its way to Milan, the E2 moaning and bitching just now. Right, thank you for the heads up there, Wolfgang. Looking forward to seeing the A340 pretty soon.
Dat duurde even lang voordat hij weggaat, want hij stond er echt al heel lang.
Ja, A340 is a slow mother.
Hij stond heel lang stil op Schiphol volgens mij.
That I don't know.
Want ik heb hem echt al lang niet meer gezien.
Evelyn says it probably stood at Schiphol for a long time. I don't know if that's the case. Didn't it fly in yesterday?
I have no
They
idea.
usually fly in on a Thursday, fly back again on Friday, and then.
I don't know though. I saw it last time as well.
Okay.
I think that was here again, I guess.
Oh dear, low calorie is the wrong one. I may need to speak to the manager. Something happens again. Thank you for the heads up there, Karen. Cheers. I will double check what we have in store. Are they high calorie or low calorie mints? Better make sure we get it right this time. Hendrik, goedemorgen. And good morning to all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at Polderbaan, runway 18 right. I say we, that means Evelyn and her granddad have also joined me for ground crew. If you hear some chattering in the background, that's them. They are sitting here in chairs next to me in the grass, enjoying the lovely weather that we have over here. The wind is blowing from the south to southwest and is turning more to the west as the morning progresses. It's also picking up a little bit, so the crosswind component is increasing as the morning progresses. Now unfortunately what also progressed was the size of that pile of sand over there. Initially it was just a small pile over which we could easily look with the camera, but then a John Deere tractor came while we were already streaming, came twice and increased the amount of sand there. No message for AMS Live viewers behind the sunscreen. A340-600 now lined up, Wolfgang says, so let's keep the camera pointed in the direction of runway 24. Suriname Airways flight 993 to Paramaribo in Suriname is now rolling, and it's probably going to become visible. Yes, they brought chairs with them. Have a look. Quite comfy chairs at that stranger. Stranger surprised that the ground crew brought chairs along with them.
I mean, why wouldn't?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Indeed.
This is a way better view than the bench.
Absolutely.
Where is that?
Alright, we're waiting for the A340 to become visible. It's probably going to be further to the right, but you never know. Is it rolling? Is it coming off the ground? Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, and a flat climb as well. You can see. You can almost hear the struggle climbing. Indeed, as if they're bicycling against the wind with headwind. Yeah, but there she is, the A340-600, the Dows, on its way to Suriname. Dows is 21 years old, first flight December 2003. Nice chair, says stranger.
Ik heb een goeie. De A340 van met de kleine motoren zijn gevouwen door hardrovers,
Ja. Ja.
en dan die
Ja.
is gevouwen door ventilators.
Powered by fans. Blow dryers for the 300 and fans for the 600. Ventilators. Well, not ventilators. In English, that's of course something different. Fans. The home and garden fans that you typically have in your home. Next up, KLM flight 1056, arrival from Norwich, and that's an M175. 31 minutes on the way, just has to traverse the Gulf of Yorkshire. Indeed, AJ, do I really have to get off the ground? Really? Do I have to? I don't want to go. Does my bum look big in this? Mrs. J says at least you have company that can do an airplane dance with you. They definitely can, but I think you guys aren't allowing us to do that. The likes are severely lacking with the numbers of viewers. 392 likes, that's more than 600 likes away from the first airplane dance. It's what I feared for. The momentum has gone. No more airplane dances for a while, I think. But yeah, if we hypothetically were to reach 1,000 likes while live, then definitely I would have had some people with me that could do the airplane dance with me. Hey Master Bacon, you're absolutely right. A very, very, very brief cameo. I saw it and I already saw in the comments that some people were noticing that it was me. Well spotted, because I didn't even recognize myself initially. Didn't see me there. It was so brief. One guy was there with a big TV camera. One that has a separate lens and whatnot. A whole harness along with it. That's the bloke who made the video, or at least shot the footage. Maybe an editor made the video. That could be... that could also be true, of course, but he definitely shot the footage, or at least the footage in the bus. Maybe there were more camera guys doing that. This is KLM flight 644, arrived from New York JFK. It's a 787-10 Dreamliner, the Papa Hotel Bravo Kilo Kilo. And the flap surfaces, of course, immaculate. You could eat off of them. Parallel arrival still in progress. Full as well, the meter should have updated. At least the one from 5 to the hour should be published by now. I'm wondering particularly what the wind speed and direction have become. Obviously within 5 minutes or so another meter will be going out. But it will take another 5 minutes before it's going to be published, so at least 10 more minutes before the new meter will be available. The wind is turning. It definitely is turning more to the west, so that means that even though the wind isn't necessarily increasing in speed, because it is turning more to the west, the crosswind component is definitely increasing, as was expected. Means that the airplanes are going to crab a bit more as the upcoming hours progress. The Indigo The Indigo Dreamliner. Let's also have a look at it on Flight Radar. Indigo is approaching Dutch airspace and now is expected to land shortly before 12, and that's good news for us because that means by then, if all is well, the Polderbaan is the only runway open for arrivals. So that is good news. Saudia expected 1:45 and the Emirates still with an ETA of 12:59 expected shortly before 1 o'clock. Now on paper that should mean it is going to land here on the Polderbaan, but I would feel more comfortable if we knew a bit more. If it was actually a bit further before, if its ETA was further before 1 o'clock.
Oh mijn god.
In the meantime, we have EasyJet flight 25530, an A319 arriving from Bristol, 52 minutes on the way. I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago or something.
Well, in 1 hour we have another one.
Yeah, I saw it. Another 757 is coming in. Icelandair will be arriving with the 757-200, right?
Ja. Yep.
Today.
Daar stoppen ze toch ook mee?
Zei je?
Daar gaan ze toch ook mee stoppen?
Ik dacht het wel op enig moment. At some point they are going to stop with the 757s, absolutely. Luckily for us, that's not going to happen today yet. Hey, few clouds, and they are at lower than 5,000 feet. Also on this side, so I think the cavalcade situation is no more. No more cavalcade. Transavia flight 5132 is arriving next, arriving from Barcelona. 1 hour 54 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel Zulu Juliet. Peter, goedemorgen. Wagner, bom dia. GF Foto, goedemorgen. Good morning. Doc Snyder, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show. All others who have joined in the meantime, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Primary runway for inbound traffic. Parallel arrivals now in progress for another 15 or so minutes. We are awaiting the first time Indigo is going to make an appearance in our streams. Yesterday, I think, was the inaugural flight. Today it's going to be the first time we are going to see it here in the stream, and if all is well, it is going to land at a time where the center runway, when the center runway is going to be closed. Confirmed? Confirmed. It is already confirmed, so it is going to land here on the Polderbaan, the Indigo, which undoubtedly has just traversed into Dutch airspace. In the meantime, Gratje, Roadhawk, also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hey, thank you so much, GF Photo, for your super chat, for a bakje coffee. Always nice, a cup of coffee. Thank you so much for that, mate. Never enough coffee. Also a massive big thank you. Massive big thank you once again for the iced coffee that Evelyn and her granddad brought me. Still have a few sips in the cup. Caramel macchiato flavor, a grand cup. Mmm. It does mean I am behind my schedule on AMS Live vodka. We'll have to make good on that.
But who needs vodka when you have coffee?
Interesting question. Who needs vodka when you have coffee? I think I like to have both, if that's allowed. For those of you wondering, no, that pile of dirt was not as high before I started the stream. Otherwise I wouldn't have set up over here, of course. The pile was smaller and you could just look over it, and then 2 tractors filled with sand came. They emptied it right there. And now the touchdown zone from this point of view is a bit compromised. Highly annoying. Should be better again next time, because either I will not be going here or I will set up somewhere else if this is still there. Dennis, good morning. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Put vodka in the coffee, AJ says. That's a good suggestion. Nice combination of both. What would that be called? Not an Irish coffee, but Russian coffee, Dutch coffee, Amos Live coffee. Amos Live coffee, yeah. 2747 over Amsterdam, Wolfgang says.
Oh ja, daar. Is that one? Yeah.
Is that a 747? It's definitely something that is producing a contrail, if it is a 747 or not.
But there's 2 of them?
This does look like a quad-engined airplane.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah. Interesting to see how it is forming a contrail. Looks like there's a core and also... Interesting. Also something with a propeller overhead, looking up to see if I can spot anything by any chance, but sadly no. I'm not seeing the second 747 though, Wolfgang. Yeah? Where? Oh yeah, hey yeah. We've spotted the airplane that is producing the propeller noise. Now where is it?
Looks like a...
It's probably...
Looks like a sheep 1 That's flying in the misty cloud now.
Yeah, no, it's... I see it visually, but then pointing the camera in the right direction is also still tricky. You'd need a scope like on a telescope that basically shows you the center of your camera shot through the scope.
It was indeed a C-130.
C-130, there you go. Over here we have Delta Airlines Flight 136 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. 6 hours and 52 minutes ago this airplane left.
That is the other one.
The November 851 November whiskey. All this talk about whiskey makes me thirsty. The airplane 21 years old, first flight June 2004. Heidi Wilma, goeiedag.
Ik zie die andere reden.
And you were able to see the C-130 car, says. That's good. All right.
Let's get loud, question mark.
That's a good question. That is a good question. Nice and buttery landing. See how much higher the nose wheel is and still is compared with that of a Dreamliner, for instance. Well, nice wheelie. Wasn't as loud as you would had hoped, but it definitely was a beautiful wheelie.
I came here to get my eardrum blasted.
What coffee? Rob says, what coffee? What coffee? Nice one, nice one.
I came here to get my eardrums blasted, but disappointing so far.
It is, it's no longer cavalcade, I will tell you that. We have friendly clouds over here and there. They are forming mostly land inward. Looking to the west, looking to the south, looking to the east, and looking to the north. It's narrow bodies that are flying in to both runways for the time being, with Embraers everywhere. Two Embraer 175s to both runways, flying now parallel next to one another. To this runway we have KLM flight 1076 arriving from Bristol. Flying parallel to it is number 175 flight 1944 arriving from Basel.
Nou, ik dacht dat ik een berichtje tussen een ding kreeg. Niks.
Let's see, number 190 after this. To the Polderbaan. That's over there at the 10 o'clock. And an ITA A321neo flying parallel to it, to the center runway. Hey there, Turkish Aviation, goedemorgen. And good morning to all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at the Polderbaan, where it is a bit windy, and the wind is turning more westerly as the morning progresses. Means that the crosswind component is increasing. Han asks an interesting question, is that few or scattered? I think probably few, but let's have a look. It's now 11:32, so I think the METAR from 11:25 should be published. I'm inclined to say probably few, but that is an interesting question to which we can find an answer right now. This is not Captain Wheelie, so let's turn around, have a look at the glide slope, and while we are doing that, let's also... Huh? A350 China? Ooh, nice. Chinese A350, that should probably be coming this way. Let's see if we can do an extensive follow of it, unless it is turning to the left in a few moments.
It's probably because it doesn't fly over. This is China Airlines itself, not the China Southern or anything like that. It's just stupid.
Let's see what the A350 will do. Yeah, it's turning right. Or is it? No, it is. No, it is banking away. Yeah, no. It's not coming this way. Wah, wah, wah. Nee, indeed. This one does never fly over Russia. That's right.
So,
That is interesting.
Cathay and China Airlines don't fly over Russia.
All right, let's answer Hans' question. Will it be few? Well, few over here already. Yeah, few. It apparently it renewed already. So few clouds at 4,500 feet. Not scattered, still few. Let's copy paste it. So looking at the wind has now firmly become a bit more westerly than it was in the morning. West to southwest. The wind speed 12 knots, more or less the same, but as the wind is turning more westerly and is becoming more perpendicular to the runway heading, the crosswind component obviously increases. Nice warm summery weather, 23 degrees with 12 knot winds. It means that it is absolutely lovely over here. Lovely temperature, not too warm, not too cold. You can do stuff in weather like this. Wish it could be like this all year round. To me, this is the most optimal summer weather that you can get. Indigo is assigned to the Polderbaan, and we'll see that pretty soon. 20 or so minutes from now. Pretty soon the parallel arrivals are going to stop, and everything inbound will once again be coming to the Polderbaan exclusively. Two airplanes that we can see, it's an Embraer 190 in the foreground and a 737-800 in the background. Both of them are KLM. The former arrived from Eden. Bruh. And the other is arriving from Birmingham. Hey, thank you Dino in the tube, who says, excellent information boy, do the best I can mate. A warm welcome to everybody who has joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. It is a beautiful summery day here at Schiphol Airport. Arrivals are taking place at runway 18 right to the Polderbaan. Right now the center runway is still open for a few more minutes, and then from 11:40 until approximately 1 o'clock we are going to see all inbound traffic to runway 18 right. In other words, the runway we are standing next to. Indigo premiered yesterday, flying for the first time to Schiphol Airport. Today its second flight and the first time we are going to catch it in the stream. A channel premiere, in other words, has been assigned to the Polderbaan Indigo, arriving from Mumbai pretty soon, going to land over here. The viewers who came in a bit later may have missed the arrival of the Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478, arrived from Dubai earlier in the show. This pile of dirt was not as tall as it currently is at the moment I started my stream, otherwise obviously I would have set up somewhere else. The mount was still low and you could view the airplanes over it. And then a John Deere tractor, while I was already streaming, came twice and put more and more sand over there, so now it's a bit in the way. Apologies for the inconvenience. The audio, if all is well, should be better than it was before with the Sennheiser wireless microphone UHF. Should allow me to go away for 100 meters and you would still not get any fallouts out of the audio, the voiceover audio. Dropouts is the word I was looking for. That's the term, when it becomes stuttery. So 1747 already landed, another one is expected. Saudia is still underway and is expected shortly before 1 o'clock. So also in a time span where there is only one runway open for inbound traffic. So Saudia cargo will land here on the Polderbaan as well, probably, if all is well. Ah, it's the Norse on wet lease, AJ says. There you go. Now Norse is also an airline that we don't usually see here, so hopefully it will at least have a livery recognizable as Norse. Even though it may be flying under the moniker of Indigo, it would still mean an airplane, a livery that we don't usually see here at Schiphol Airport. Hans is also back, good to see you. Midvi has to go, thank you for joining Midvi, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope to see you again soon. Howdy Valentine, good to see you mate, hope all is well. Two airplanes over there on the glide slope. In the foreground we have KLM flight 936 arriving from Glasgow. That's a 737-700, and we have Delta Airlines flight 144 in the background. That's arriving from Seattle, Washington. A330neo. Okay, AJ says that the tail is Norse, the fuselage has Indigo, and the crew are from Norse, apart from one from Indigo. Okay, well that's a hybrid livery and crew then.
What am I missing?
Taking another sip of my lovely iced coffee, courtesy of the ground crew. KLM flight 936, about to touch down here. These KLM pilots have the courtesy of waiting with the touchdown until they have passed the line of sight of the pile of sand, so that we can at least see the touchdown properly. Thank you so much for that. Hans says your airplane dances will not be visible as you will go out for more than 100 meters, but still audible. That's right, Han. I will do the airplane dance really far away so that you don't see it, but you can still hear it. Nah, I think the era of airplane dances is over. I think the momentum of the channel that we had before the NATO summit has completely died out. May also have to do with the time of year. Last year this time of year, it was also really quiet in the chat and in the streams. So I think it is going to be quiet on the airplane dance front. But yeah, hypothetically speaking, I would be able to do an airplane dance basically beyond the pipes, where you wouldn't be able to see me, but you would still be able to hear me probably. Could test it out. Walk all the way over there. Adi Hillard, goedemorgen. Delta Airlines flight 144, arriving from Seattle, Washington, A330neo. Oh.
Hé joh, gaan we gooien?
Ja. The wind threw my coffee on the ground. You bastards! Hey daar Jesse, goedemorgen. Thank you both once again so much for a lovely iced coffee.
Finally emptied it.
Finally emptied it, yeah. It was still cool until the end, so...
Hij heeft de hele nacht in mijn auto gelegen.
I'm used to drinking hot vodka, so this is still cool to me. Roy needs to do some chores. I'm afraid I also need to do that later today. Thank you for stopping by, Roy. Always a pleasure. Hope you will have a nice day and hopefully see you again later. If not today, then hopefully later in the weekend. Audrey also back in the chat. Good to see ya. Vasro Darshane says, we just need you to lower your standards and dance at 500 likes. You think I'm going to do that? You think that's likely?
Yeah, obviously.
No. I pride myself in having high standards. Howdy Kevin. Shreyas, good morning. Indigo lined up, yeah. Indigo is now number 3. And it's not the first time it's going to land on Schiphol Airport. It did that yesterday. But it is going to be a channel premiere for us. Transavia here. Let's see what we can make of Indigo. It should be visible already, and there it is. There it is, Indigo flight 21, arrived from Mumbai. 7879 Dreamliner. Let's see if we can make the footage a bit more stable with fixating the pan and tilt axis. There it is.
Also, if the chat hears like weird noises in the background, that's me having pain because of a blister underneath my nose. Terrible. Nee, ik heb een blaar precies onder mijn tenen, die is geknapt.
Oh jee.
Dat doet echt pijn.
Hoe kom je nou weer aan een blaar dan?
Nou, slippers, zand.
Ah, ja.
Zeg
Slippers and sand is not a good combination. You will get blisters pretty easily then.
And then underneath your toe, that's the worst one.
What helps really well against blisters, or at least to make sure that if you have blisters that you don't suffer a lot of pain from them, is to use blister bandages as well. That they work a treat. They totally seal off the blister, whether it is open or still closed. Severely reduces the pain you feel from them. Indeed, compete. Alright, a quick look at the touchdown of the KLM. And then, well, if we can see it. Yeah, no, we can see it. Yeah, the wind is definitely giving the pilots a bit more to do. Alright, lovely Dreamliner combo shot here with Indigo Flight 21 arrived from Mumbai on the right. That's the 7879 Dreamliner. And on the left we have KLM Flight 604 arrived from LAX. That is a 787-10 Dreamliner.
Were those reversals?
Don't think they were.
Well, it sounded like it. They definitely turned them off.
This is Indigo Flight 21. Arriving from Mumbai, 8 hours and 43 minutes on the way. Channel premiere for us here at AMS Live. The LNFNC Lima November Foxtrot November Charlie. 7879 Dreamliner. The airplane itself is 7 years old. First flight May 2018. Operated by Norse, so it is a hybrid livery and a hybrid crew. 787-10 Dreamliner KLM flight 601 arriving from LAX in the background. Also slowly but surely coming this way. Dreamliner back to back. The shade over the grass just now visible. Hope you guys saw that. Always lovely to see. Now, question of course is, will they use the reversers or not? KLM pilots, Transavia pilots often don't. Nice combo shot with the bird control. Alright, well this one definitely looks like Indigo. Welcome to the Netherlands. Zeg je? Hè?
Rijdt er nou door het gras heen of ben ik gek?
Nee, the bird control is driving through the grass. You're not crazy. Well, it is a Ford Ranger Raptor. They are able to do that. they won't get stuck if all is well. Sometimes the birds aren't on the tarmac, but also in the grass. So. It was a nice livery, wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that is the Norse tail. Wow, okay. Well, there you go. This is KLM flight 604 arriving from LAX. 787-10 Dreamliner, the Papa Hotel, Bravo Kilo Lima. This particular airplane, 9 hours and 30 minutes on the way from LAX to AMS. 3-year-old airplane, first flight June 2022. Do you see how much lower the nose wheel is during the landing of a Dreamliner when you compare that, for instance, with the A330? I always find it fascinating to see how that can differ from airplane type to airplane type. Less distinct but also still visible difference between the 737 and the A320 family. A320s have their nose wheel higher up, or at least can often have them higher up than, for instance, 737s do. There's a Lufty CRJ coming. It should be the second airplane to land over here. First airplane has just turned in, and that is a KLM, no, Transavia A321neo. In the meantime, Indigo over there, slowly but surely making its way over back to the main platform area. Following this airplane will automatically also show us the windsock eventually, giving us a visual indication. Oh no! For crying out loud. For crying out loud. Really? It's almost as if they do it on purpose. It's almost as if they are doing it on purpose. And now it's not driving further to the north, it is going to dump more sand right there. That's the third pile of dirt that they are adding.
I'm starting to question if Indigo has even more 787s. I don't see it.
I don't know.
It's the only one. I mean, looking up the flight radar, I see nothing.
Surely Indigo must have more wide bodies.
No, I see only these. Only small, narrow bodies and...
Okay.
What?
Does Indigo have more than one Dreamliner, or is this hybrid Norse the only one in their fleet? John McKenzie is also asking why I don't know. Wish I knew. Wish I had known they were going to do this. Then I would have set up somewhere else. It's right in the way, right in the touchdown zone area from this vantage point. Sure. Why not? Right. There are currently 2 Norse, with 3 more being added later this year, and Indigo has ordered 35 A350s. So apparently they don't have much more Dreamliners than this one, just one. Transavia flight 5806 is arriving from SKG. That's Thessaloniki, isn't it? Yeah, that's Thessaloniki. Asshole. Next up, Lufthansa flight 2302, CRJ, arrival from Munich. 1 hour and 8 minutes on the way. The DAC NH, DACNH, 15 years old, first flight October 2009.
I looked on Google, and it looks like they have more wide bodies, but if I look on Flight Radar, they only have that 787.
Yeah. Could be that they are not under the moniker of Indigo, and you need to look maybe for Norso or something to find the other one. We have a quad-engined airplane that is coming this way. And that looks like an A380. Emirates, if I had to guess. Still pretty far. Well, pretty far. It's decently to the west still. It's flying to the east. It's going to pass south of me.
Manchester, Dubai.
Manchester to Dubai. There you go.
Kan je helemaal hier zitten, Manchester, Dubai? Zit toevallig hier.
Ja, die was dus van de broek. Zowat. Die gaat net over zijn op. Oh, kom op. Nee, niet de zand, niet achter de zand. Oh.
Turning a little bit. Not optimally visible because of the high clouds. Makes it a bit more milky, the backdrop. Did I miss a CRJ? Ah, yeah. Well, we're missing everything because of the pile of sand. I'm surprised people are still watching. Right, Britty Hopper, flight 972 on behalf of KLM, arriving from Humberside, Embraer 170 long range. Oh no, that's still in an hour from now, the next 747.
Oeh, A380 is nog steeds voor 1 uur.
Hoeveel minuten voor 1? 3. 3 minutes to 1, the current ETA of the A380, that is good news. Yeah, it's gaining time, and that means the likelihood of it being assigned to the Polderbaan have increased. Still, wouldn't feel comfortable calling it going to the Polderbaan already. Still, a few more minutes would be necessary for it.
Oh, I've never seen this one before.
Huh? Is that coming this way or? Yeah, but not going to land here on this runway, is it?
I'm assuming not now.
It's probably going to land on the Schiphol Oostbaan.
Speaking of, there is a plane going to Oostbaan, I think. Don't see that.
In the meantime, a Transavia A321neo is arriving from Faro in Portugal. That's the Papa Hotel YHB. 2 E2 Embraer 195s from KLM behind it. One arriving from London, one arriving from Dublin.
Nee, ik ga prima. Ik kan...
KLM 777-300 arriving from Panama City has just turned in.
Ja, nee. Ja, ik moet meer op de wind letten als op de zon. Want de wind, ja, de wind ruimt te snel allemaal. Maar ja, dat is geen 380. Dat is een
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Those of you joining us later, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are here at the Polderbaan. I see that my horizon has turned a little bit crooked. Maybe one of my tripod legs has dropped a little bit. Let me straighten the horizon again. This should be better. We are still waiting for the arrival of a Saudia 747, which is expected in about 45 minutes or so from now. And in an hour from now, the Emirates A380 is expected. As it stands, there's a good chance of the A380 landing here on the Polderbaan, since it now has an ETA of a few minutes to 1. It's Schiphol Airport, you never know, so expect the unexpected is what I always think. And now say out loud, just because it looks good doesn't mean it has to be good. It also looked like it was okay over here initially. Hey Björn!
Ik dacht, ben ik een tijd van Van R anders hier, ga ze nog staan.
Ja, nee, precies. More ground crew. Björn has also joined. This is KLM flight 1136 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Another E2 Embraer 195, and behind it is a KLM 777-300
Van de Dreamliner Boy net van Go India.
Ja, dat was mooi hè?
Ja.
Gisteren voor het eerst gekomen, vandaag de channel premiere, indeed.
Mooi.
Ik zag toch net die van.
Mooi werk van die ex-KLM'er toch?
Nou, inderdaad. Pieter Elbers is still the CEO of Indigo, right? Former CEO of Schiphol. Now running things over there. KLM Cargo on the move, departing from Kaagba, Maria says. Interesting, thank you for keeping me informed. KLM flight 758 is going to land next. That's arriving from Panama City. This is KLM flight 758 arriving from Panama City, 9 hours and 45 minutes on the way, 777-300 PHBVU, Bravo Victor Uniform. The airplane is 7 years old, first flight September 2017. If you are in Panama City and you go to the south a little bit, you'll end up in Latin America. And if you are in Latin America and go a bit further to the south, you'll end up in Ecuador! However, if you are in Panama City and you take a boat and you go to the east, you might end up in Africa. Anyway. Did I say Schiphol? Of course I mean KLM. Thought I said KLM.
The new airline, Schiphol Airlines.
Yeah, no, KLM. Definitely KLM.
No, it's a Blue Delta. It's a Blue Delta. Dus wanneer heeft Delta
It's also a busiest on the glide slope to runway 22. Should be over the city of Amsterdam. I'm looking over my shoulder to the right to see if maybe I can see something. The answer is sadly not. Gentle touchdown. Idle reverse landing. The slots are open, but they're not spooling up anything. The flap surfaces look squeaky clean, as they almost always do.
It's above the high-rise buildings there. There's a high building, and then above that.
Oh yeah, see it. Busiest has been sighted.
Ik zou zeggen ergens bij die wolken daar. Dat heb ik eerder
Yeah, in the vicinity of the clouds over there, in the blue part of the sky. Yeah, exactly. Busiest is arriving from Angelholm. Angelholm? No idea how to properly pronounce that. It sounds like it's coming in from Scandinavia. Is that Norwegian? Angelhorn? Holm? I have no idea. The flight time is 1 hour and 8 minutes, so makes Scandinavia very likely. Cessna Citation XLS, the 9 Hotel X-Ray Oscar Bravo.
ontsmet zonneband. Ja, oké, hydration. You get hydration. Wow.
That was VistaJet. This is KLM flight 1406 arriving from Paris-Charles de Gaulle. The PCBCK is back with a carrying cabin. It comes with a carrying cabin. Oh, nicely touched down there. Nose wheel came up again as well. Nice carrying cabin. Arjan, mate, what are you doing? Arjan van Vught just now gifting 10 memberships. You really didn't have to do that. Not in a stream where the view is so piss poor obscured by a pile of sand, mate. Really. That is really above and beyond. Arjan van Vught just now gifting 10 memberships and also celebrating. Mate, thank you so much for your continued support. 21 months of membership. Arjan writes good afternoon. All good afternoon to you too, Arjan. Thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to the Aurora Skylounge new members. Don't forget to say thank you to Arjan if you are one of the 10 recipients of his gifted memberships. But mate, really you shouldn't have. Not in a stream like today where the view is so piss poor due to sand. Definitely not today. But thank you so much for your ongoing support. 21 months as a member, almost turning blue. I hope that in the lounge everything is still to your liking. If there are piles of sand in the Aurora Sky Lounge, I want to know immediately because I will fire people. No, really, mem, thank you so much for the support. Hope everything is still to your liking as a member. Hit me up if something is no longer to your liking. Let me see what I can do to fix it then. In the meantime, EasyJet has arrived on the scene. It is time for a KLM 777-300ER. Ron H is greeting us from Budapest, and Ängelholm is in the south of Sweden, Tommy says. So there you go. Howdy Menno, doing well, thank you for asking. Hope all is well with you as well. In the meantime, Jeff says, Sand Theory, it is a gift from the generous people of Yorkshire. They want you to have your own very own peak district as theirs is so good. I'm not sure if that's very likely. I do wish that they wouldn't be putting the sand over there. We already have a spotter's hill on the other side. That's even taller than this hill is. The Netherlands should be a flat country. At least this part of the country should be flat and not have any mounds of sand.
Speaking of mountains, there's one in front of my house. Dat is vanwege mijn volleybal.
This is KLM flight 622 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 777-300ER, 7 hours and 0 minutes underway according to flight radar. The PHBVN, Bravo Victor November.
Maar dat is omdat die bewoners er zijn. Maar ze zijn gewoon. Ja, nee, dat is
Chris Coot has brought his mate. Right now, these are the only two aquatic birds that I can see in the water. No, wait, there's a third one. There's a third one, there it is. 3 coots. No ducks, no grebes. No ducklings, no nothing. I think they are still sleeping in. Here we have one going on land. The other two, oh! Getting territorial. You stay the hell away from me. Screw you. I won't be chased away by you. I don't think I have ever met someone from Yorkshire in person, Jeff. No, I think that's correct. GMA is tuning in from Makkum in Friesland. Goedemiddag. Also a contrail of a twin jet passing overhead. With the sun behind us, it should make for a nice contrasty picture. Where is it? There it is. That is Delta. It says so on the tin. Focus was struggling for a brief moment with the autofocus still enabled. KLM flight 1164 having arrived from Bergen. It's back to the narrow bodies for a brief moment, but there is another 777 already on the glide slope. Arriving from Vancouver, Canada. That should be the number 2 right now. Right in the background. Ja. Hè? Wat is er? Een A340? A340 passing overhead, not producing a clear contrail, but it was visible because of the milkiness. It's flying really next to the sun, so yeah, no point in pointing the camera up there right away.
Oké, nu kan je het zien. Als je je hand iets
Dus nou hier rechtsboven.
Yeah, I'll wait a few seconds before we should be able to see it. Oh, and a tractor here on the cycling path as well. This is as high as my camera can go right now. Don't think we can see it yet, or can we?
Oh nee, het is daar.
Oh yeah, I think we have it now, or...
Ja, nou, die donkere wollen.
No, it's lower. There it is. Lufty A340, just now passed overhead. And here Transavia arriving from Palma de Mallorca, flight 5624. Howdy Sven, goedemorgen. Next up, KLM with another 777-300 flight 682, arriving from Vancouver, Canada. 8 hours and 7 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel Bravo Victor Kilo is the registration. 12-year-old airplane, first flight May 2013. In the meantime, also a massive big thank you to Danny Romeinders, who just now celebrates 16 months of membership and still a great lounge. Good job, boy, he writes. Thank you so much, Danny, for your kind words and for your ongoing support. I'm happy to hear that things are still to your liking in the lounge. If they were not to be to your liking anymore, let me know and I will see what I can do to fix it, mate. Hope you're going to stick around for many more months to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular frequent visitor. But thank you so much, Danny, for your ongoing support upwards and onwards. Airplanes passing overhead without a contrail being produced. Another Lufty, or no, not a Lufty, but it is a Dreamliner. I can hear them, and then if I look and have a bit of luck, I can also see them. Qatar Triple arrival from Doha is flying to the north and it's flying east of us, so on paper somewhere over there we ought to be able to see it.
Oh ja, daar, boven de wolken.
Above the clouds.
Nee, kijk, bij die windmolens daar, die eerste windmolens, en daar ergens boven.
Ik zie hem, ja.
Zoals ik al zei, hij vloog boven.
Ja, boven de wolken. Above the clouds, indeed. Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's coming. It's coming. In the meantime, a very good afternoon to all who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm here with a ground crew of 3 right now. Evelyn and her granddad came over. Björn has also come over. And we are watching the arrivals here at the Polderbaan. Right now the only runway in use for arrivals. Wind began this morning blowing from the south to southwest. Now it has turned west-southwest and is becoming more westerly as the day progresses. If all is well, there are still a 747 and an A380 underway. Whether or not the latter will land on this runway remains to be seen. Right now the ETA is shortly before 1 o'clock, so if all is well, it is going to land here on the Polderbaan. Fingers crossed it will catch up a few more minutes of time, because that will only increase the likelihood of it landing on the Polderbaan instead of going to the center runway, which I'm still not too sure about whether or not it's going to do that. The 747 is expected around a quarter to 1 and is pretty with a reasonably high degree of certainty going to land here on this runway. In the meantime, also a massive big thank you to Erik Peters. He just now gifted 5 memberships. Mate, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, new members. If you are one of the recipients of Eric's 5 gifted memberships, don't forget to say thank you to him. Have fun with the custom emojis. They're there to be had fun with. 34 of them. Pretty soon I'm also going to look into your suggestions for the new custom emoji that just became available after having gone through 1800 members temporarily. We're back on it again, which is why I immediately placed 2 placeholders in their slots. Chucky and the orange KLM logo, which I had originally made for King's Day. It's interesting to see there's a line of clouds forming. If you look, you can see they're there. It's a single line, as far as we can see, and it is it in line with the wind? I think it is in line with the direction of the wind, so you can see the direction of the wind more or less. It is one single cloud of streets, street of clouds I should say, Cloud Street, Wolkenstraat as we say in Dutch. I'm sure the English language has a different name for it. In Dutch it is Wolkenstraat, which literally translates to cloud of cloud of streets. No, street of clouds. KLM cargo ready for takeoff and rolling, Maria says. Thank you, Maria. There it is. KLM cargo on its way. Shamrock in the meantime has landed over here. Is Aiden. Wilma has to go. Thank you for stopping by, Wilma. Enjoy the rest of your day and hopefully see you again later in the weekend. Here we are going to stick around at least until the A380 has landed. Not sure if it is useful to continue long after that because of the pile of sand that is severely blocking our view. It wasn't like that in the beginning of the stream, but then a John Deere tractor came 3 times now, I think, adding sand to the pile, making it higher and wider. Very annoying. Had I known beforehand, obviously I would not have set up over here. Yeah, indeed, Dino in the tube. Is there an emoji for the pile of dirt? It is that one exactly. Also smiling like the bastard the pile is. Red Wine Express, this is KLM flight 1442, arriving from Bordeaux. 1 hour and 24 minutes it has flown. It has a separate cabin. No need to call the manager. You've got your own suite, all private and whatnot. Jimmy says, come for the planes, stay for this mound of soil. Hello from Australia. I thought you guys in Australia had your own mound of soil. No need to look at this puny mound of soil. It's negligible in comparison with what you guys have. Right, Qatar Cargo, flight 8207. It is arriving from Doha. It's 777 freighter, the Alpha 7 best friend roar ever. BFR, Bravo Foxtrot Romeo. 6 hours and 4 minutes on the way. 5-year-old airplane, first flight August 2019. In the meantime, Alex Bon also came into the chat with a bang. Mate, you really didn't have to do that. Thank you so much for your generosity. Alex Bon 787 just now gifting 10 flipping memberships. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines members. Don't forget to say thank you or dankeschön to Alex if you are one of the recipients of his gifted memberships. Have fun with the custom emojis. They're there to have fun with. Get creative with them. Use them as inappropriately as you can think of. That goes for all members, new and old. Use them like how I use my sound effects. Bruh. Anyway, Alex, thank you so much for your generosity, mate. You really didn't have to do that. Not on a shitty stream like today with the pile of sand in the way of the touchdown zone. Still, thank you so much for your generosity and welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Have fun with custom emojis. Qatar is letting us down in the audio department. No reversers being applied there. The flap surfaces, not as clean as KLM's, but definitely not as rancid as some of the Chinese triples are. Time for a KLM A330-200. Arriving from Boner, it's the FOAF, PHAOF. 9 hours and 11 minutes on the way right now. And I'm wondering, it's 12:21, so the meter from 55 is the latest. Still, it's going to be another 10 minutes or so before the one from 25 is going to be out. So let's have a quick look, see how the wind has developed. It's already a bit outdated. In 5 minutes from now, a new meter will be out. But before it is available, it's going to be 10 minutes. Yeah, you can see that the meter indicates that the wind is not only increasing in speed, but also turning more crosswindy. It means that the crosswinds are definitely worse now than they were before. Still few clouds at 4,500 feet means that there is no cavalcade conditions anymore. The sun is otherwise shining, the wind is nice and refreshing. With the temperature, I think this is ideal summer weather, and if I could choose, I would choose this type of weather for the entire year over here. Absolutely lovely. The next airplane coming in, the PHAOF, is over there, arriving from Bonaire. It's an A330-200, KLM flight 765, a countdown flight number. 9 hours and 13 minutes on the way. The airplane is 18 years old. First flight was in November 2006. Now, I'm not sure what the wind is going to do tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. I wasn't feeling like going to the Kaagbaan today because of the road closure that I encountered earlier in the week when I had to go work in Amstelveen on Tuesday and was in a traffic jam. Oh, look out, watch out. What kind of contraption is this? Looks interesting. Part of the highway around Amsterdam is closed for maintenance, and that caused major traffic jams, which caused me to take 1.5 hours over a journey that normally would have taken me 30 minutes. The entire highway around Schiphol was also one big traffic jam, and that's why I didn't feel like going to the Kaagbaan today, because I didn't want to end up in a traffic jam. Hopefully things will be better tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, so depending on the wind, I am looking to do at least one of the 2 upcoming streams in at the Kaagbaan area, provided that the weather will allow me, because I also heard yesterday on the news that this weekend we are also going to see some rain showers, and I'm wondering when are those going to fall and where. Maria is giving us an update of the ETA of the A380. It's now expected 6 minutes to 1. That's definitely good news. That definitely increases the likelihood of it going to this runway instead of the center runway. Fingers crossed it's not going to lose significant time from now on. And if that's not going to happen, we should be good. A330 definitely crabbing, and you could see the shade of the airplane. Okay, maybe pull up the reversers. Give us a little something. No? That's a shame. Roy has to go. Thank you for stopping by, Roy. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate, and hopefully see you again soon later in the weekend. The 757 from Iceland Air is now flying base and is turning in pretty soon. It's going to land here in a couple of minutes. Erik, goedemiddag, and welcome to the show, all others who have joined in the meantime. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. Indigo, we saw land earlier. We saw a Cathay Pacific Cargo 747-8 earlier in the show. Within the upcoming hour, we are still expecting a Saudia 747 and also the A380 from Emirates. As it stands right now, the ETA of the A380 is a couple of minutes before 1 o'clock, and that increases the likelihood of it landing on the Polderbaan severely. From 1 till 2, 2 runways will be open and parallel arrivals will commence. That means that everything arriving from the east will be directed to the center runway, or at least almost always. So whenever the ETA of the Emirates A380 is before 1 o'clock, that increases the likelihood of us being able to see it land over here on the Polderbaan. In the distance, and I am trying to see if I can spot it already, a 757 from Iceland Air should be turning in. Yep, there it is. Iceland Air Flight 500, that's a 757-200, now turning in. And Fanblade is also announcing that the Saudia is coming to the Polderbaan. That's good news.
Well, that means, right?
Is that the old beige livery, or is it the new one with the green retro stripe?
The old one.
The old one. Still, it's better than nothing. Over here, tap at Portugal, flight 668, arriving from Lisbon in Portugal. A320neo. Charlie Sierra Tango Victor Kilo is the registration. 2 hours and 24 minutes on the way. Not flown by pilots, but by tap dancers. I'm hearing an ambulance. Over there. Not sure if you guys are also able to pick up the sirens on the microphone. The Sennheiser MKE 600 for the ambient sound in its blimp being pointed in the other way towards the runway. Iceland Air Flight 500 is arriving from Reykjavik, Iceland, 2 hours and 29 minutes on the way. It's a beautiful old livery that is coming in. I still like it infinitely better than the new sterile white and blue livery that they currently are using. The TF-ISR Tango Foxtrot India Sierra Romeo. This particular specimen is 26 years old, hailing from the previous millennium. Its first flight was in April of the year 1999. A true millennial. Telephone for Evelyn's grandpa. If you're wondering what that sound is.
Met koud hier. Ja.
757 is crabbing its way over here. Lovely to see. Will they apply the reversers? That's the question.
Wat krijg ik? Nou, eens van de zorg bellen ze me op als ik het hier even wil.
Come on, touchdown after the pile of sand. Yes, thank you.
Ik ben wel tevreden. Het enige waar ik daar niet mee tevreden
Oh, it has had a nose job, quite clearly visible. Come on. Pity that they didn't spool up the reversers. That would have been sweet. The cherry on the cake, the icing on the cake. Huh? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
in plaats van dat mijn zoon
Don't see it very often anymore.
er maar kan kunnen rijden om te ophalen.
Right. So there's just one lane of low clouds over here, which is why it's not KVK. The rest of the clouds that you can see over here are all high clouds, all cirrus clouds, except for this one strip that is drifting, I think, to the northeast. Hey, Emirates has been assigned to the Polderbaan. Maria is also telling me, and Evelyn was holding the omgevingsinfo Schiphol page next to me. That is good news, guys. Means that the Saudia 747 and the Emirates A380 are both going to land here in the next half hour or so. Indeed, Han, no still frozen from Iceland. Or maybe a bit of nose candy still on the nose.
Die heeft de pillen niet eruit gehaald. Ik zei nee, dat gebeurt straks als ik thuis kom. Dus dat is het enige.
KLM flight 1614, arrival from Milan, 737-800, Papa Hotel, Bravo, X-ray, Foxtrot.
Is er wel iemand aan de bel? Komt die kijken of A, stel ik jij eens op de toer is. En B, waarom dat ik nog Dus eigenlijk heb ik zelf niet zoveel problemen. Het enige is communicatie, omdat ik een...
So, next up is going to be an A321neo from Transavia, arriving from Granada. There it is. Another airplane that you see behind it, that is EasyJet. That's arriving from Eden. Another A321neo from Transavia, arriving from Porto in Portugal behind it. Another KLM 777-300 arriving from Lima in Peru is also coming this way.
Ja, soms weet je het niet helemaal zeker. Ja, ik wil 's morgens met opstaan merk ik wel.
So this is Transavia flight 5932 arriving from Granada, 2 hours and 26 minutes on the way. A321neo, the Papa Hotel, Yankee Hotel Zulu. That was the first leased A321neo in the fleet. Let's see, that was in the meantime November 2023 when that was delivered, or at least when it first began flying. So that's 1.5 years ago already. Feels like it has been more recent that Transavia began flying the A321neo, but there you go. In the meantime, next up, EasyJet flight 23301 arriving from Edinburgh in Scotland. 1 hour and 3 minutes underway. 15-year-old airplane, first flight August 2009. The GEZ-TM, guesstimate. Next airplane behind that is Transavia flight 6004, arrival from Porto in Portugal. A321neo.
Ja, dankjewel. Hetzelfde. Oké, tot ziens.
EasyJet flight 23301, arrival from Eden.
Maar ik vind het qua wat Airbus ook doet, is veel beter wat Boeing doet.
Mike Wild is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. And welcome to the show. All others who have joined in the meantime, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Right now, still the only runway in use for arrivals. From 1 o'clock, parallel arrivals are going to commence again. Before that, we are going to see a Saudia 747 and the Emirates A380, both already assigned to this runway. It's not going to be the first 747 landing here on the Polderbaan in the show. We already saw a Cathay Pacific cargo that was arriving from Dubai earlier in the morning. You may have missed that if you join us later. You may have also missed the first time that we saw Indigo land here. Yesterday their first landing in Schiphol took place. Today the second landing, but the first time we are able to catch it on the stream. We have a Transavia A321neo in the foreground, arriving from Porto in Portugal, and behind it is KLM flight 744. That is a 777-300ER, arriving from Lima in Peru. For those of you wondering, that pile of sand was not as tall and as wide in the beginning of the show. Initially, it was looking like a small pile that I could easily film over. Still view the airplanes. And then John Deere tractors came 3 times with a full trailer of sand, and they added to it and added to it and added to it. Bastards. Of course, had I known beforehand that that was going to happen, I wouldn't have set up where I am standing right now. Apologies for the inconvenience. Ali Clementia, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. KLM flight 744 is arriving from Lima in Peru. If you are in Peru, you're not too far away, globally speaking, from the country called Ecuador. Although Lima is the capital, Peru itself, of course, very long, stretchy country. Relatively thin, relatively narrow, but very long. So depending on where you are in Peru, the distance to is still pretty far. This is the Papa Hotel, Bravo, Victor, India. 11 hours and 38 minutes it has flown to get here. Lovely. Yep, 777-300ER. The Saudia 747 is approaching the city of Amsterdam and is flying somewhere over there, I would say. I think if I know where I need to point the camera, we should be able to see it. So the question is, where is it? Are those clouds in the east in the way? What's the altitude that it is flying on? Oh yeah, you're right, Peter. That's Chile indeed, not Peru. Silly me. Actually, I have drank too much coffee and too little vodka. Absolutely right. How could I make that mistake? It's Chile that is so long stretched. I do see the 747 though. Luckily, at least that I can still do. There it is.
Dat is heel vaak. Dat kon niet geloven.
Oh, dat is de Saudi.
Ik heb nog nooit eentje zo gegaan met je ding. Ja, maakt ook niet uit.
Saudi Cargo 747, the second Queen, that is going to land here on the Polderbaan pretty soon. I'm thinking that the A380 is probably going to follow a similar route. Saudi are now flying over the north of Amsterdam. Where is the A380? Yeah, it looks like they're all following the same route, so maybe we can do something similar with the A380 when it is getting closer by as well. More EasyJet, the OE LSI. And Shri says, hello, first time viewer here, how do you know in advance which runway a plane is assigned to? There's a website that maybe one of the mods can also put in the live chat for you guys. And if you go to that website, you can click on the labels of the airplanes that are in Dutch airspace. And if you click on them, you will see the colloquial name of the runway they have been assigned to land on. So Polderbaan, Aalsmeerbaan, Kaagbaan, etc. Of course, you will need to know what the colloquial names of the runways are. You need to know that Polderbaan is 18 right, 36 left. For landing only uses 18 right, by the way, but beside the point. Thank you, Maria. If you go to that link, you will be able to click on the airplanes in Dutch airspace, and assuming you click on an airplane that is going to land at Schiphol, in the label you can see the runway name, whether it is Polderbaan, or in the case of today, the Zwanenburgbaan for traffic arriving from the east. Not yet, of course, for the A380. It has been assigned to Polderbaan still. Hey, Clementia is noticing the audio. I did purchase a different voiceover audio. This is now a Sennheiser ME2 that I use a Sennheiser EWDP wireless UHF transmitter for. It's one of those bigger things that you can clip onto the back of your trousers and is using ultra high frequency. Let's see, it's one of these machines. This is the transmitter that I can clip onto my belt. It's a bit bigger, but it's also a bit more professional and works better. With this I can walk away 100 meters or go up 2 stories in my house, and the concrete and the doors that are in between will not interfere with the signal. Should definitely make the voiceover much more reliable and better. Next airplane is Air Transat. Oh, as I was clicking on Flight Radar, the footage lost the airplane, the camera. Air Transat flight 376, arriving from Toronto in Canada. 6 hours and 42 minutes on the way. A321neo. 6 hours and 42 minutes in a narrow body. Hats off to the people who have suffered it. At least from what I've heard, these are just regular seats, not extra spacious because of the long haul nature of the trip. The same seats that you would have had on short haul. That is actually quite a chore then to sit through. More tractors, and the A380 has been sighted by Evelyn as more tractors are passing by here. In the clouds. Waar kijk je nu?
Hij zit nu, hij gaat
gaat weer boven die schuur en hij zit heel vaag. Je moet echt heel goed kijken, dan kun je het zien. Hij is echt heel minuscuur. Ik heb mijn camera gewoon niet even pakken.
Okay, well, it was sighted. It is in the vicinity. Hard to see, Evelyn says. If even she is struggling to see it, then I'm not even going to attempt to see it. Let's just film what we can see best, and that is KLM Flight 696 arriving from Toronto, Canada. More airplanes coming in from Canada. This is a wide body, 6 hours and 16 minutes it has taken this 777-200ER to get here. It's the Papa Hotel Bravo Quebec Golf. The airplane 21 years old, first flight April 2004. Now, there is a 747 right behind it. Usually airplanes preceding 747s and other quad squad members don't get much love here on the channel. But this is a 777, so at least let's have a look at the touchdown insofar as we can still see it. Which I think we might, yeah. There you go. And nose gear down as well. There we go, Queen number 2, Saudia Cargo, flight 933, arriving from Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. 5 hours and 32 minutes it has flown to get here. The 9HAKF, 9 Hotel Alpha Kilo Foxtrot. 5 hours and 32 minutes on the way. The airplane is 30 years old, ladies and gentlemen. First flight was in December 1994. I was in my first year of middle school back then, 30 years ago. From summer 1994 until the summer of 2000. What were you doing back in December 1994, other than maybe celebrating Sinterklaas and or Christmas?
Okay, now you can see the aviation now. Aviation is
En dan komt met de voetbalcontract. Ja, dat is mooi man. Dat is nooit echt gezien dat. Bij mij gaan ze dat niet zo. Ja.
In the shade over the dike or whatever it is over there. Lovely to see. Now, are they going to use the reversers? Will this get loud or won't it?
Oh, ik hoop dat deze gewoon even goed reverse is. Ik kom hier om mijn uit te laten.
Oh, nice. Nice wheelie. Hell yeah. Nice. Now spool up those reversers, please. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Still, it was a nice wheelie. They usually don't keep the nose gear up that long, so... Yeah, the A380 is flying base and is looking to become the third airplane. Yeah. E2 Embraer 195 in the foreground and a 737-900 behind it. Is that the SkyTeam livery? No, that's just a regular 737-900. 2 KLM narrow bodies between this 747 and the Emirates A380. The Herpa passing overhead. Outbound.
Oh ja, je moet zo laag gaan, hè?
Ja, ik heb hem meerdere keren gezien.
Right, 747 about to line up on 18 left. A380 about to come this way. There it is. With a KLM 737-900 in the foreground and over here an E2 Embraer 195 landing. Let's have a look. The gear is still up. Emirates Flight 147 arriving from Dubai. You can already see that the airplane is leaning in against the wind a little bit with its nose to its right and to our left. The Emirates flight is ahead of schedule. 6 hours and 14 minutes it has flown thus far to get here. Usually it's at 6.5 hours, so must have had a little bit of tailwind. Outer main gear comes out first, then the inner main gear, and in the meantime the nose gear also comes out, but because of the angle, the angle of attack, you don't see that protrude below the airplane. And then everything goes, the doors go shut, and you have an extended gear. It's pretty windy, and we're pretty far up in the digital zoom range. This is back to the top end of optical zoom. Zooming out a little bit further, you can see there's an airplane behind the A380. That's a 777 arriving from Guayaquil, which actually is in KLM 737 is about to land over here. And the Emirates A380 is gliding towards the runway. It's a 12-year-old airplane. First flight was in May 2013. The registration of the A380 is Alpha 6 Echo Echo Mike. Lovely to see how here in the coastal region, west part of the country, we only have some high cirrus clouds, but land inward. As is typical on summery days, you can see that there are more clouds forming. Wind is blowing from the west, more or less right now. We began with wind that was mostly from the south. The crosswind component has increased. The wind speed itself has also increased. It's now around 10 to 15 knots average. The crosswind component has only increased over the last couple of hours. We haven't seen any go-arounds yet. Emirates Flight 147. And behind it, KLM Flight 751 arriving from Guayaquil in Ecuador. Look at the grass over there. You'll see the reflection of the massive A380 pretty soon. There it is. Fucking A. Right. Brace yourself for a landing that has the potential to get loud.
Candy store today, boy.
Wat zei je?
Candy store today.
Candy store today indeed. Lucky us. Say what? That was amazing, yeah. Well, at least the pilots of the A380 did not disappoint when it comes to the reverser use. Next up is KLM Flight 751 arriving from Guayaquil, which it actually is in. It's going to land next. Yeah, but what a show it has been. 2 747s, the A380, a 757 as well. The second ever flight of Indigo into Amsterdam, captured here. Absolutely beautiful.
Lufthansa kan je echt een leuke prijs.
Let's quickly turn around.
New York, van Frankfurt naar New York, kan dan een
Vorige keer stond jij tussen die motoren.
KLM flight 751 is arriving for Guayaquil. 11 hours and 9 minutes on the way. 777-200 PHBQL, the registration. 11 hours and 9 minutes it has flown to get here. The airplane itself is 19 years old. That didn't look like the butteriest of landings. Even though we weren't able to see the main gear touchdown there, it did look like it was a bit wonky. Yep, KLM Asia, returning from Latin Asia. Right. I am assuming that Turkish flight 1957 has been assigned to the Zwanenburgbaan. Peter wonders, what is that sound effect that you're using? You mean... Or do you mean...
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Or...
Bruh.
Nee, Play is al langer geland. Dat is EasyJet.
Ja, was dat dus net.
Nee, play is dan een uur voorbij.
Okay. I do see that there is a Delta A330 underway. Delta Airlines Flight 164 arriving from Minneapolis. It's still over the Gulf of Yorkshire. Should be coming this way.
So far away though.
Let's at least stick around for that to have landed. In the meantime, it is narrow bodies galore to both runways. Well, of course, Turkish will land pretty soon. That's an A330. Chris is still doing cardio. Chris Coot. And over here we have an M190, KLM flight 1498, arriving from Barcelona. And that's an M190 long range. The Dawsey Delta Alpha Whiskey Sierra India. Turkish to Zwanenburgbaan, thank you Peter. Dukman asks, is Chris Coot also a narrow body? I most certainly think he would be. Doing so much cardio, you can never see him snacking, can you? He's always eating water or he's eating fibrous greens. If there's anybody who has a sleek narrow body, it is Chris Coot. Very streamlined. Hey! So this is not the pointillistic new livery on the tail, but it does now say operating for KLM Cityhopper. Even though the tail is still the old one, they have put on the sticker that they are flying on behalf of KLM Cityhopper. It's interesting to see. There's a line of clouds over there, and more lines behind it if you look closely. Landward, more clouds over here, coastal region, except for some high cirrus clouds, all clear. Two more airplanes over here on the glide slope. The first airplane coming in is an M175 arriving from Rennes in France. Flying parallel to it is an M175 that is arriving from Frankfurt. The airplane flying behind this airplane that you now see on the top left is Ryanair, arriving from Dublin. Those usually have the potential to get loud. Or at least I should say the 737 can get loud if the pilot uses the reverser, and Ryanair pilots often do that.
Je moet het wel af kunnen trekken.
Als je lang genoeg wacht, dat is klaar. Maar het is, hij zit onder mijn tank. Hij zit echt onder deze tank.
oriënteren daarop.
Let's have a look. The windsock is looking like so. And the wind on the scale of chimney smoke currently is looking like so. I think that the wind is currently blowing from behind in line with the line of sight. Let's have a quick look and see what the latest meter has been saying. The meter that we have in the ticker is a bit outdated, and the most recent one, well, the one from 5 minutes to the hour is still not published. This one is from 12:25, and you can see that the wind has turned to almost exactly to the west. Still 14 knots of wind, 23 degrees C the temperature. I'm imagining it's going to be a bit different in the next update of the meter. I expected it to have been published already, but that's not the case. Let's see, Ryanair. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. Definitely have the potential to get loud if they want to. No butt shot to boot. Let's see, Turkish Airlines flight 1957 is flying base. Even though it is going to the wrong runway, should be able to film its arrival in a couple of minutes from now. For now it is narrow bodies, narrow bodies, narrow bodies on both runways. Transavia 737-800 coming this way right now. This is flight 6114 arriving from Malaga, which is a place in Spain, but in the Netherlands at least it's also a form of ice cream, Malaga ice cream. That's with raisins, I think. Malaga? Rum raisin or something? What? You never had Malaga ice cream?
No.
No? What? Evelyn has never tried Malaga ice cream.
Is it that weird?
Is it that weird? She's wondering.
Zal wel lekker zijn.
Heb jij het al eens op, opa?
Van ver weg.
Heel vroeger. I thought it was with rum and raisins, but I'm not sure anymore. Or is that chipolata? Now I'm getting confused here. And guess who has arrived on the scene?
Bruh. Oh, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Right, Wolfgang says C17 over Hoofddorp, and I think I have it, so let's have a look. It's doing an Air Icarus, but with the cloudy backdrop, yeah. Thanks for the heads up, Wolfgang. That one at least we can see quite clearly. Dat weet ik niet. Where is it coming from? Probably Ramstein. Not sure, just speculating.
Oh, it has a hekel cocktail.
Oh, and a bit of shade as well. It is doing an Air Icarus now.
Ja, maar de camera kan ook niet verstaan, maar hij heeft een regenboogcocktail.
Look at the shade, the shadow it is casting. Absolutely pretty.
Wij moesten, sterker nog, wij moesten even wachten met hem toe en de taxi maken. Dus ik heb hem wel foto's van.
Oh, god jongens. Dus.
Vrijdag uitzien. Met de net en de nieuwe gast die kijken.
Tractor on the cycling path. That too. Right.
Bruh.
So not cool.
Ja,
So not cool.
ja. Hoe het zo uit te snappen.
Ah, C-17 is coming in from Israel. People in the chat are saying. There you go. Well. In the meantime, Turkish has been sighted on Flight Radar, and I think I have it visually as well. There it is. Turkish Flight 1957, arriving from Istanbul in Turkey. This is an A330-300. 2 hours 58 minutes on the way. That's the nominal flight duration. It is, of course, going to the wrong runway. Now I think I'm going to wrap up after the A330 from Delta has landed here on the Polderbaan. It's arriving from Minneapolis and is now flying more or less downwind, if you can call it that. With the pile of sand annoying me increasingly, and probably most of you too, and with the A380 and 747s already touched down here, I think it is a good moment to wrap up after having ended on a high note. Hopefully the A330 will give us a nice wheelie and maybe also some spool up sounds of the reversers.
Ja, wij kunnen een wedstrijdje doen.
Ik reed hierheen en ik reed richting Wilderswijk. En ik zie, en ik kijk links even.
Turkish Flight 1957.
Oh, prachtig.
This is the Tango Charlie Juliet November Lima. The airplane is 14 years old. Its first flight was in January 2011.
Het lijkt wel grappig als eentje landt en eentje opstijgt tegelijkertijd.
Of course, it's going to the wrong runway.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
The ground crew falls quiet immediately upon hearing the song. Everybody is in awe.
What was that?
Bruh.
What was that? Yeah, in case you hadn't noticed, we have a few more sound effects on the sound effect board.
Van de oude.
De oude. Ja, hij is niet verrast.
Wel, ik vind het op zich wel leuk, maar...
Een beetje mooi trouwens, maar wat meer... ik begin met nog met de mondwerk te doen. Maar ik vind die honden die vertaal heb ik ook een beetje anders. Ja.
Vraag je uit de chat, ga je morgens vliegtuig spotten of niet? If all is well, I should be, but it depends on the weather. I don't know yet if it is going to stay dry. That's my primary concern right now, if it is going to rain or not, and if so, when, how long, where. Because it was mentioned yesterday, I saw in the news, or at least in the weather report, that we are going to have some rain tomorrow and also on Sunday, so it's probably going to be limited by the weather more than anything.
I think Sunday was also like impending for thunder.
Yeah, they were mentioning thunder showers potentially on Sunday. Thought that tomorrow was still going to be alright. So depending on what the weather is going to be like, I am going out tomorrow. I don't know yet where I'm going to go to. I haven't studied the wind yet. Don't know which runways will be in use for what. But if all is well, I should be going out again tomorrow. Let's see, it's all Embraers right now. An Embraer 190 arriving from Cardiff is first to the Polderbaan. We can see the third airplane already. That's going to be our last airplane of the day. That's going to be the Delta Airlines A330 arriving from Minneapolis. Second airplane here on the glide slope to the Polderbaan is an A320neo from Sky Express. We have an E2 Embraer 195 from LOT flying in between the A320neo and the Embraer 190 to the center runway, arriving from Warsaw. Motorcycle on the cycling path, and that's not a police motorcycle, so don't think that's allowed. Hope for their sake they're not going to run into a policeman or military police that will give them a fine. This is one of the 2 airplanes that KLM still has flying in the SkyTeam livery. It's an Embraer 190. And this one is arriving from Cardiff. The other airplane is a 737-900, and we also used to have, until recently, a 777-300ER, the PHBVD, Marissa's beloved. Unfortunately, the latter has been repainted into the standard livery of KLM a couple of months ago. So it's just this one and a 737-900 that are still flying in the SkyTeam livery. At Schiphol there's always a lot to see, and over here we have it. E2 Embraer 195. It is arriving from Warsaw. It's going to the wrong runway.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
And then again, it does look polished, doesn't it? Rob has to go. Thank you for joining, Rob. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Hopefully see you later in the weekend. Already. Sky Express arriving from Athens. Is this one of those airplanes that has Greece's Bliss on it? I think it is. Looking on the picture in Flight Radar, it should say so. 3 hours and 12 minutes on the way, and it's the SX Web WEB. Han is also signing off already. Thank you so much for joining, Han. Hope you enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. Sky Express and Greece and ignorance have something in common. They're both bliss. Alright, last airplane of today's show, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a Delta A330. Let's hope it's going to get loud. Delta Airlines Flight 164 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. 7 hours and 30 minutes on the way. The November 828 November Whiskey. A 9-year-old airplane. First flight May 2016.
Let's get loud, maybe, hopefully.
Let's get loud, hopefully, maybe. Yeah, I abbreviated the sound effect, and apparently it didn't load into my stream elements properly, because I can press it, but we're not hearing J-Lo.
This shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-Yeah.
At least that one that still works. After this, I'm going to say,
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
absolutely, you're goddamn right. So this is Delta Airlines Flight 164, last airplane of the day. 7 hours and 30 minutes on the way. The airplane itself, 9 years old. First flight May 2016. Nice wheelie. Oh yeah, check it out. Level up. Right, that was it. Last airplane for today's show. Hopefully tomorrow another stream. Definitely from a different location. If I'm going back to the Polderbaan, I'm not going to be standing here with a pile of rubble in front of the touchdown zone. Obviously, had I known beforehand, I would have set up somewhere else. Hopefully you guys still enjoyed the show regardless. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did and you haven't done so already, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It really helps to promote this channel and its content to the new viewers who may be interested in joining our community but who just haven't heard of the channel yet. A massive big thank you for all the support, for the overwhelming number of gifted memberships. Really, guys, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members, and don't forget to thank the gifter if you received a gifted membership. Also a massive big thank you for all the other forms of supports. Also a massive big thank you to the moderators for keeping the chat friendly and accessible. And lastly, a massive big thank you for the ground crew. Thank you Evelyn and Grandpa also for the cup of coffee. And also thank you Björn for joining me here today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will hopefully see you again tomorrow. For now I'm going to say cheers, take care, bye for now, see you soon.